Live on a Saturday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the second of a three-game series between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Grizz Live, the pregame show presented by America First Credit Union. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza, as it's the 14th of 18 meetings this season between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Utah's 3-10 against Idaho this season, with all three of the Grizzlies' victories coming at Idaho, and that includes last night, where Garrett Metcalf stopped 29 of 32, and the Grizzlies got an outstanding game from Cameron Wright as he scored a second-period goal, and the Grizzlies' power play was mighty as they scored 3 power play goals. They also had a shorthanded goal by Tyler Penner in the first period. Jordan Martell had 2 goals in the third period, including an empty netter with 7 seconds left. He got the game winner with 9:11 left in regulation, and Jordan Martell has 5 points in his last 4 games, and the Grizzlies got an outstanding 5-3 victory over Idaho in the series opener. Garrett Metcalf's record goes to 7-1 on the season. He'll be in net for the Grizzlies tonight, going up against Idaho's Remy Poirier, and it should be a lot of fun as the Grizzlies over the last 4 games has a record of 2-1-1, and they have scored 15 goals over their last 4 games. When we return to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk with Guy Chiarenza. We'll talk about who's been hot for the Grizzlies as of late, and what do the Grizzlies need to do to secure 2 big standings points tonight, as we're in business on a Saturday evening, and you're listening to the Grizzlies pregame report presented by America First Credit Union.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies pregame show presented by America First Credit Union. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out tonight in the lobby at Maverick Center with Guy Chiarenza, and we got a fun night of hockey in store. Guy, it was outstanding last night as the Grizzlies got a 5-3 victory. Casey Johnson for Idaho got a 1-game suspension for his hit on Vladislav Mikalchuk, his slashing major. And then the Grizzlies scored 2 goals on that major power play, tied the score up at 3 late in the second period. And then Jordan Martell scored 2 third-period goals, and the Grizzlies blocked a ton of shots, and Garrett Metcalf stopped all 14 he saw in the third period as Utah secured a 5-3 victory. And that's their 3rd victory at Idaho this season, as after all, the Steelheads are 13-3 at home this year, but all 3 losses have come to the hands of the Grizzlies, and it was an outstanding effort last night to secure the 2 standings points.
Yeah, Tyson, I mean, it was a full team effort from the Grizzlies last night. I mean, Garrett Metcalf stood on his head. The whole team was laying it out on the line, and the special teams were fantastic and really helped the Grizzlies win that game.
You think about who's been hot over the last 4 games. I look at Cameron Wright, who's got 6 points in his last 4 games, 4 goals and 2 assists. And over his last 4 games, he's taken 22 shots. And I could just see the first-year pro really settling in, game in and game out. And he's been outstanding here in the month of January.
Yeah, Tyson, he's been fantastic, not only in the month of January, but really throughout the whole year. And it's his rookie year, and he's playing fantastic. He leads the team in shots on goal. He leads the team in points with 25. And he seems to be on a heater right now. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games. Give me Cameron Wright for my pick to click tonight.
Well, he's your pick to click. Keaton Jameson's been pretty good for the Grizzlies. He's got 5 points in his last 4 games. And how about Jordan Martell? You know he's got a lot of goal-scoring potential. A big third-period goal, 9-11 in on the power play, and then he got the empty netter at the end as well.
Yeah, Jordan, don't call me Johnny Martell. He's been fantastic for the Grizzlies ever since he came over in that trade. And he got the 2 goals last night, and you got to think there's a lot of momentum. That's a big confidence builder for him. And I think he's going to be a key part in the Grizzlies making a push for a playoff run or playoff spot here down the stretch.
Dylan Fitz has also been good for the Grizzlies. He's got 3 goals in his last 3 games. And really, if you think about other players who have really stepped up for the Grizzlies, I mean, last night, James Shearer, 1 goal and 1 assist, and he was outstanding for Utah in the victory.
Yeah, James Shearer is one of those guys that I think doesn't get enough credit for what he does for this team. He lays it out on the line every single night. He's sacrificing his body, blocking shots, which unfortunately isn't a stat that's tracked in this league. But James Shearer, ever since he's come back from his injury, he's been fantastic on the blue line.
You think about the Grizzlies' power play and penalty kill. It really has been special for the Grizzlies over the last 5 games. You really think about the power play. Over the last 4 games, they are 8 for 15, including 3 for 3 last night. Even though the Grizzlies haven't done a ton 5-on-5 in the month of January, their power play combined by their penalty kill, which was over the last 5 games, 19 for their last 20. That's really been their bread and butter here in the month of January.
Yeah, and I think when you're not scoring 5-on-5, the first thing you look to kind of give yourself a little bit of a jump start is you look to the power play. Can you score in the power play? And the Grizzlies can. And they've been really good at scoring on the power play. And not even to mention the penalty kill, which has been fantastic. But this special teams effort from the Grizzlies has been keeping them in games and has been winning them games as of late.
And think about the power play over the last 25 games. I mean, they got off to a really slow start for 6 or 7 games. But you think about the last 25 games, they're 26% on the power play. So, and what I'm trying to figure out is why have the Grizzlies had so much success on the power play? Because last year it was just get the puck to Dastu in either the left circle or the right circle and have him fire a one-timer. I think what's really worked for the power play for the Grizzlies this year is the fact that it's been very, I wouldn't say basic, but it's been very balanced. You see Cameron Wright get a few assists. You see some rebound goals. You see traffic in front of the net quite a few times. I mean, the thing is, it's not like they're scoring all their power play goals the same way. They're very diversified in how they're scoring those goals. Some on rebounds, some on shots from the point, things like that. And I think because of that, that's been key to their success.
Yeah, I really like the puck movement on the power play. It's been great. But I think the thing that you mentioned before is traffic in front of the net. And earlier on in the season, I would see the Grizzlies power play when they were struggling and they didn't have anybody in the front of the net. Now what we're starting to see is guys like Dylan Fitz really make life tough for whoever is in net for the opposing team. And with that, you can get a screen, maybe a tip in front. You mentioned rebounds. Grizzlies are great at working the puck around, getting some good movement, keeping a guy like Fitz or whoever's in front of the net, screening the goalie, getting a shot, and then just crashing the net and trying to hack away and get a puck in. And it's been working for him so far.
And it is a little bit surprising how good they've been in the month of January on the power play, considering they're without 2 really good power play players in Johnny Walker and Zach Sekos.
Yeah, and I think we just talk about guys stepping up, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing guys like Taryn Pfizer, Dakota Raby, Cameron Wright, even Johnny or Jordan, don't call me Johnny Martell. We're seeing guys step up and really make a contribution to this team, which is what you're going to need going down the stretch. If you're going to make a playoff push, you're going to need contributions from everybody.
Now, just because I keep calling him Johnny Martell doesn't mean you have to call him Johnny Martell.
It's spreading to me too. It's tough not to call him Johnny. It just fits. But no, he's Jordan Martell, and he's been a great addition to this team.
So you've got Cameron Wright as your pick to click. For me, I posted on Twitter, and I've already forgotten who's my pick to click for tonight. I'm going with Cam Strong. He's got 3 goals in his last 7 games. I think Cam Strong is my pick to click, and I think that he's somebody that plays a north-south game. And I think one of the things the Grizzlies have done here in the 4 games in the month of January is they've decided to just go north-south. You don't see a whole lot of side-to-side movement. You just see the Grizzlies just attack north-south and get things on net. Yeah,
and Tyson, it's been working for him. And really, if you stick with what works. And I think the Grizzlies style of play, it's not flashy by any means. It's not going to wow you, but it's getting the job done. And you mentioned a north to south game. It's getting it done. It's getting the puck deep. It's been generating a lot more scoring chances for the Grizzlies, really. I mean, earlier on, we were talking about how the Grizzlies were getting outshot by their opponents by a wide margin. Now we're starting to see that that's a much narrower gap, and I think that's attributed to that.
Grizzlies are without Zach Sekos and Johnny Walker again, and they're also without Bryson Martin again, and Joey Kolatarsi and Jordan Stone are also out of the Grizzlies lineup. Garrett Metcalf will get the start in net. I believe Trent Miner is the backup, even though I do think Lucas Preet traveled with the team this weekend. I think if you're looking at a key for the Grizzlies, you talk about the power play, and that's certainly been great over the month of January. I do think if they want to come away with the victory tonight, they're going to have to find a way to do some stuff 5-on-5, though.
Yeah, and it's Tyson, that's been one of the questions that we've had throughout the whole season is, can the Grizzlies score 5-on-5? We saw them that they were able to do that in the Rapid City series. I'd like to see them be able to do it against Idaho, especially considering Idaho is one of the top teams in the league right now. But again, I said it last week and I'll say it again. once the Grizzlies are able to find a solution to this 5-on-5 scoring problem, I think that they could be one of the most dangerous teams in the league.
When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we will go over the lineups for both teams. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by America First Credit Union. Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. We're not sure who the starters are yet for both teams, but we do know the Grizzlies are going with the same 17 skaters that they had last night in a 5-3 victory. Starting in net is going to be Garrett Metcalf, who's got a record of 7-1 this season. He has a 3.25 goals against average and 907 save percentage. Grizzlies are going with 7 defensemen tonight, as Corey Thomas, a former Idaho Steelhead, has 2 assists in 21 games. The captain, Connor McDonald, has 2 goals and 6 assists in 29 games. McDonald had 3 assists at Rapid City on January 6th. James Shearer had 1 goal and 1 assist last night. He'll be wearing number 10. Grizzlies also going with Kyle Pouncey, who's got 5 assists in 27 games. Aaron Tho had an assist last night. He has 1 goal and 5 assists in 27 games. Victor Bartley, the former NHL product, has 1 goal and 6 assists in 24 games. And Andrew Nelson, the Grizzlies all-star, has 4 goals and 20 assists in 27 games. Scratches among the defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight include Joey Kulatarshi, Jordan Stone, and Bryson Martin, although it does look like Martin is getting closer to returning to the Grizzlies lineup. 10 forwards for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew tonight. Taran Pfizer has 9 goals and 7 assists this season. The 9 goals are tied with Johnny Walker for the club lead. Keaton Jamison's been hot as of late. Jamison over the last 4 games has 5 points, 2 goals and 3 assists. Dylan Fitz has 3 goals and 3 assists, or he has 3 goals in his last 3 games. He'll be wearing number 13 for the Grizzlies. Guy Chiarenza's picked to click. Cameron Wright has 6 points in his last 4 games, and he's got a point in all 4 games in the month of January. Tyler Penner scored a shorthanded goal last night. He has 7 goals in 32 games this year. Dakota Raby, the Michigan product, has 6 goals and 13 assists in 32 games. Christian Simeone has 1 goal and 1 assist in 19 games. Vladislav Mikhalchuk, Vladdy has 3 goals and 2 assists in 26 games. He had 1 assist last night in the 5-3 victory. My pick to click is Cam Strong, who's got 3 goals in his last 7 games. And the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who was the Grizzlies' hero last night. He had 2 third-period goals. He's got 3 goals and 11 assists in 24 games. He started the season with the Fort Wayne Comets, and about a month ago was acquired by the Grizzlies in a trade for Neil Robinson. When we come back, we'll have face-off over at Idaho Central Arena and give you the lineups for the Idaho Steelheads as we're in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies pregame show presented by America First Credit Union.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Last night, A.J. White had 2 goals for the Idaho Steelheads. He'll be in the lineup wearing number 18. He's the Steelheads captain. Jordan Kawaguchi has 17 goals this season to lead the Steelheads. Colton Keller got in a fight last night. He has 3 fights against the Grizzlies this year. He has 12 goals and 9 assists in 26 games. Justin Ducharme has 3 points in 4 games. He also spent some time in the AHL this year. Ryan Domowski leads the Steelheads in points with 38 this season in 33 games. Giannis Vandenbergs did not play last night, but he'll be in there for the for the Steelheads. He's got 7 goals and 8 assists in 26 games. Jade Miller, number 26, is playing his 33rd game of the season. He's got 10 goals and 6 assists. Jack Becker has 7 goals this season. 6 of them come against the Grizzlies. Willie Niram is a plus 15 for the Steelheads this year. They've also got Zach Walker, Justin Misiak, the cousin of former Grizzly forward Ryan Misiak, and Zane Franklin. So 12 forwards for the Steelheads tonight. They're going with 5 defensemen, including Matt Register, who's a plus 39 this season, but he was a minus 2 for the Steelheads last night. Cody Heiskanen is a plus 27 this year. He has 12 assists, no goals in 22 games. Patrick Kudla has 29 points in 31 games. Owen Hedrick has 29 points in 28 games, so he's a point-a-game guy. Nick Canati has 4 points in 21 games this season. The starting goaltender for Idaho is Remy Poirier. He's got a record of 11-1, or 11-1-0-1 this season, with 1 shutout, a 1.98 goals against average, and .930 save percentage. If I remember right, the shutout that Poirier had was against the Grizzlies the game before the Christmas break, where he stopped all 18 shots. In an Idaho victory over Utah, the final score of that game was 6-0. Utah is looking to win both games in Boise. Don't forget that the Grizzlies will be at Maverick Center on Monday afternoon, taking on the Steelheads in the final game of this 3-game set. And remember, it's sensory-friendly day as the Grizzlies turn down the sound. And it's also Nickelodeon Day, where the Grizzlies are wearing SpongeBob SquarePants-themed specialty jerseys. And make a note, second intermission, we're going to wear those SpongeBob SquarePants jerseys and let you know what they look like before Monday's game. That's going to be on the YouTube feed, which is unfortunately just Guy and I, watching hockey, but the game is also on Flow Sports. That's where you can see all the action. And we got all the audio action here on YouTube. Your home for Grizzlies hockey all season long. When we come back, we'll face off over Idaho Central Arena. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by America First Credit Union.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's a great day for hockey as two big standings points are on the line tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads in the second of a three-game set. It's the last game in Boise in the series, but then the scene shifts to Maverick Center for a Monday afternoon tilt. The face-off's going to be at 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon. It's going to be Nickelodeon Day and also Sensory-Friendly Day. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Starting lineup for the Grizzlies, Garrett Metcalf is in net. He stopped 29 of 32 last night as the Grizzlies got a 5-3 victory. Starting defensive pairing is Andrew Nelson, who's got 24 points in 27 games, and James Shearer, who had 1 goal and 1 assist last night. Starting forwards, Keaton Jamison, 7 goals and 6 assists in 31 games. Dylan Fitz has 6 goals and 5 assists in 32 games, but he has 3 goals in his last 3 games. And Cameron Wright, who leads the Grizzlies with 25 points this season. He has 6 points in 4 games in the month of January. Starting in net for the Steelheads is Remy Poirier, who's got a record of 11-1-0-1 this season. He has 1 shutout, a 1.98 goals against average, and 930 save percentage. Starting defensive pairing is Matt Register and Cody Heiskanen. The starting forwards are Jade Miller, Jack Becker, and Willie Nerum. Idaho is wearing a specialty jersey tonight. It's the same one they wore last night. It's pink in the rink. Breast cancer awareness over at Idaho Central Arena. And so the Steelheads are wearing kind of a cream-colored jersey with pink, and it's a very sharp look. The Grizzlies are wearing, for the second straight night, their Colorado Avalanche theme alternate jerseys, a navy blue top with Avalanche red numbers, white trim, white letters in the back, and white on the shoulders. As they show Garrett Metcalf getting ready. Metcalf making his 9th appearance of the season. He's a big goalie at about 6'5" and 195 pounds. Metcalf quick on his feet, and he was outstanding in the third period last night where he stopped all 14 shots. And Remy Poirier was the backup last night. He is from Quebec. Poirier is 6'2" and 205 pounds. He's currently on an NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars. In fact, he's a former 6th-round pick in the 2020 draft by the Stars. He signed a 3-year NHL entry-level deal back in March of 2022. As they drop the puck, as A.J. White and Dylan Fitz do the honors. And it looks like we'll have live hockey here tonight, and it should be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies have 3 victories against Idaho this season, and all of them have come at Idaho Central Arena. The referee tonight is Dominic Cadieu. The linesmen are Scott DeBott and Craig Peterson. Normally we see Peterson at Maverick Center every now and then, and it looks like Peterson is one of the linesmen tonight along with Scott DeBott. Idaho is led by head coach Everett Sheen, 3rd year for Sheen, as Idaho did not play back in the 2020-21 season. Steelheads have a record of 27-5-0-1 this year. The Grizzlies are 13-18-1. Utah will be skating from left to right here in the first period as we see it from Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Idaho will be skating from our right to our left. As it draws at center ice, taken by Keaton Jamison. He's got Dylan Fitz to his right and Cameron Wright to his left. Shearer and Nilsson, the starting defensive pairing. 20 minutes on the stadium scoreboard clock over at Idaho Central Arena. Dominic Cadieu raises his right arm, points to both teams, and now he drops the puck as we're underway on a Saturday night. No, he faked it. Now he drops it. Grizzlies win the draw. Andrew Nelson will toss it towards neutral ice. It's taken away by Idaho. Steelheads in the left circle, drop it off. Miller's shot, and it goes wide of the mark. Right side far goal line as the Steelheads will skate towards the boards. Now they feed it up top. Idaho loses a stick, and the Grizzlies poke it out to neutral ice. Utah chasing after it as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. No icing as Dylan Fitz will roll it around the boards towards the right side, but the puck kind of stayed towards the corner. Idaho skates towards the near corner. Now they feed it across to Register, who will ricochet off the boards. Jade Miller at neutral ice will tap it deep into the Grizzlies zone, but he tapped it in from Steelheads territory, so icing is on the Steelheads as we get our first whistle 34 seconds into the game. Utah makes its first line change as Fitz Wright and Jamison come out. And it looks like the Ryan Kanaswich, the Grizzlies head coach, talking with his unit. Jared Pike is his assistant. As Dakota Raby's line is on the ice, Tyler Penner and Taryn Pfizer as the draw won by Idaho as they'll feed it over to the far side. Now they'll chip it out to center ice. Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, gets it at the Utah line. He'll get it across to Victor Bartley. Bartley will lift it in the air. It goes into Steelheads territory and bounces into the Steelhead zone. Utah stays on the ice as Idaho gets new skaters out there as Idaho towards neutral ice will cross center and nudge it ahead as it's taken away by Utah, as the Grizz will roll it around Metcalf's net. McDonald on the near side will tap it off the near boards. It goes past her and Pfizer. Steelheads get it back at their blue line as Idaho will skate from right to left. Matt Register makes a move on a skater, skates down the middle, dumps it in from neutral ice, and it rolls towards Metcalf, who covers up. 18:45 left in the first as Garrett Metcalf takes his gloves off and adjusts them as he talks with the referee, Dominic Cadieu, as Metcalf was outstanding in the third period last night and really has been outstanding all year long. He also spent 5 games in the month of December with the AHL San Diego Gulls. Draw's going to be on the far side as we're still early on, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. As I got a feeling if it's anything like last night's game, we're in for a treat. As Metcalf's taking some time to get his gloves adjusted as he talks with the referee, as Draw's going to be in the far circle. And the linesman waiting to drop the puck. As he drops it, Grizzlies win the draws. Aaron Tho skates towards the far corner. He'll toss it ahead. Idaho picks it off, and now it rolls back towards Tho. Now, Justin Ducharme gets hit by Tho, and the whistle blows. A hand pass was called on the Steelheads. 18:35 left in the first. Draw's going to, I think, stay in the Grizzlies zone. As Jonas Vandenbergs gives the puck to the linesman. Actually, the faceoff looks like it's coming out to neutral ice. Vandenbergs did not play in last night's game. He essentially replaces Casey Johnson in the lineup, as Johnson is serving a 1-game suspension for the slash on Vladislav Mikalchuk. Draw is at neutral ice. The Grizzlies will win the faceoff and carry it across center ice and dump it in. Idaho chases back after it. Now the Grizzlies get it. Rooster shot, saved by Poirier, as it goes towards the right corner. Utah spins it along the boards to the far side, and it goes deep into the Grizzly zone as Utah chases after it. Corey Thomas over there tried to nudge it across to Tho. Tho behind Utah's net, spins it towards the far side as Cam Strong will lift it ahead. Mikalchuk chases after it, but Idaho gets it as the Steelheads out to neutral ice, cross center. Idaho left wing will skate into the zone as they skate towards the corner. Kawaguchi will roll it around the boards looking for Idaho's Owen Hedrick. Utah with a back check as it goes towards the right point. Idaho keeps it in the offensive zone. Across to Zane Franklin. He'll take a shot, saved by Metcalf. And the whistle blows. I think the puck deflected off the protective netting. 17:46 left in the first. Still no score as Zane Franklin sporting a beard and a little bit of long hair, which is the same hairstyle that Zach Walker wears. Walker did not play last night, but he's in the lineup for the Steelheads this evening. Justin Misiak will take the draw against Keaton Jamison. And the draw won by Idaho. Register on the left side. Takes a lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound. Walker shot. Saved by Metcalf again. And Garrett holds on. 17:41 left in the first as Idaho's taking a few shots on Utah here in the first 2.5 minutes. As there's still no score. Metcalf had a bounce off his glove there on the first save, and then Walker was right there in front to the right side, but Metcalf with a quick glove stop was able to make the second save as well. As Utah wins the draw, they get it out to center ice. Grizzlies skate down the middle. Jamison with a righty shot and a blocker saved by Poirier as the puck ends up going to the far side. Grizzlies skate towards their right and get tripped up. As Shearer will take a shot and it's blocked. Idaho will nudge it ahead. No call is made there as Utah got spun around. Grizzlies get it at neutral ice. They'll feed it to the near side, near center ice. Taken away by Idaho, who throws it across to Franklin. Franklin skates towards the right circle, takes a shot that goes wide. Metcalf might have gotten a piece of it. Big collision behind Utah's net. Puck squirts towards A.J. White, who feeds it back up top for Heiskanen. Now back to White, who drops off for Heiskanen. Right point, shot goes wide. Rolls back towards the near side for White. He spins it across. Heiskanen in the right point gets the puck. He'll skate towards the far corner. Now around Idaho's net, over to the left side. White shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound shot saved by Metcalf. Now near goal line, shot saved by Metcalf again. Idaho skates around towards the right point, and they'll feed it back towards White behind the goal line on the far side. White will skate towards the far corner as Idaho just outside the right circle. Utah pokes it away. Now White has it deflect off a Grizzly, and it goes out to neutral ice. Idaho will reset. Steelheads to the right side re-enter as White gets it to Kawaguchi as he gets spun towards the end wall. Kawaguchi centers it. Utah will poke it back towards the near boards as Colton Keller back behind Utah's net will feed it to the far corner. Utah gets it and they clear it out. Owen Hedrick chases after it. Looks like it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. 16:09 left in the first as Idaho's been in the offensive zone quite a bit in the first 4 minutes of play, but there's still no scores. The Grizzlies, kind of like they did in the final 5 minutes of the third period last night are just blocking one shot after another. And really, it's not block shots in this occasion, but it seems like even though Idaho's had the puck in the offensive zone, Garrett Metcalf, while he's been busy, has done a good job here for Utah early on. Draws in the right circle. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. As the draw won by Idaho, Nick Canati feeds it to the right point. Idaho gets it across to Hedrick. It hits off a Grizzly stick and flies out of play, as it might have been in the concourse is where the puck ends up. It looks like a fan comes away with a souvenir, and hopefully nobody was hit with that puck as we got another whistle about 4 minutes into the game, and it was Cameron Wright that deflected the puck. It looked like it might have even ended up in the upper deck over there near the second deck as somebody in a Charlie Conway jersey was hoping to come away with a souvenir puck. Draw's going to be in the near circle, still no score, as the faceoff won by Idaho as they chip it towards the middle. It glances off a Grizzly as Idaho gets pushed along the near boards. As Idaho's Nick Canati skates towards the corner, he'll feed the corner. Now 2 Grizzlies and 2 Steelheads are over there battling as Canati continues to battle with a couple Grizzlies and Jack Becker, and it gets poked away. Utah will throw it past Nick Canati. It goes to neutral ice. Utah racing after it as Owen Hedrick gets there first and nudges ahead to Nick Canati. Canati across to Hedrick, right wing, crosses center ice. Utah takes it away. Dakota Raby skates towards the left circle. Toe drag. He keeps the puck. Shot. Saved by Poirier. And Poirier looked like bobbled it for a second, but then is able to hold on as I think it bounced towards Jade Miller, who then fed it back to Poirier, who covered it up. Good job by Dakota Raby just taking it away from Idaho. He's had success against the Steelheads, made a nice move getting around Miller, and then it looked like Poirier was just able to gather it, but he did cover up the puck. 15-25 left in the first, and that's the Grizzlies' first good chance of the game, and it was Dakota Raby, who really is a good two-way forward. As the draw won by Idaho, as they're in their own zone, they'll carry it out towards center ice. Pass ahead, breakaway for Ducharme. He'll skate in, lefty shot, saved by Metcalf. Idaho to the right side, skates around the net. Idaho on the near side, poking away by Nielsen. Nielsen battles as puck ends up going to Domowski. He feeds towards the middle. Utah picks it off. Grizzlies attack as Utah enters the attacking zone. The Rooster skates towards the far corner. Far side, tried to chip it in front to Michalchuk, but the pass went back to Idaho. Still heads out to center ice. Ducharme getting around Michalchuk, feeds it ahead. Idaho skates in. They take a shot and they score. And it looks like 14:49 left in the first period. The Steelheads get on the board. And let's see who it is for Idaho. And it's Jonas Vandenbergs. Vandenbergs gets his 8th of the season as they throw a fish on the ice, which they do every game, as Vandenbergs high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench. And Idaho's drawn first blood for the second straight game as they lead 1-0. Vandenberg's got around Victor Bartley and just went low on Garrett. I think the shot kind of surprised Metcalf, and it's really a nice move by Vandenbergs, who just had Victor Bartley hanging on his right side, so Vandenberg just kind of slid it across and past the Grizzlies goaltender. 14:49 left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0. Grizzlies have really had a couple popcorn looks where it seems like the transition game seems to be what Utah is going to rely on, playing that north-south game as we talked about in the pregame show, but Idaho has possessed the puck quite a bit in the first 5 minutes. Utah wins the draw. They throw it ahead to the left wing. Utah dumps it in. Idaho chases after as they skate towards the near circle. And it's a big-time collision. Aaron Tho over there, along with Zach Walker for Idaho, as the Grizzlies will bounce it off the boards and chase it over to the far corner. Zane Franklin gets around Pfizer, and he'll feed it across. The puck lifts out to the Grizzlies' territory, bounces at the Utah blue line. Cudley gets it taken away. Grizzlies start the attack. Wright gets it across the left side. Righty's shot is blocked. Puck ends up in the far corners. Cudley delivers a hit. Grizzlies throw it back up top for Thomas, and Thomas will take a shot. Glove saved by Poirier. 14:10 left in the first as Poirier holds on. And it looked like a Grizzly got knocked down. Christian Simeone out in the ice, but it was Cameron Wright that got knocked down. Owen Hedrick and Zach Walker were in the area for the Steelheads. I got to imagine part of Idaho's game plan tonight is to stay out of the penalty box. After all, the Steelheads have one of the best penalty kills in the league. In fact, they were number 1 in the league going into last night's game, but the Grizzlies went 3 for 3 on the power play last night. As draw is going to be taken by Tyler Penner for Utah. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw, 14:10 left here in the first. As the draw won by Utah. Andrew Nilsson, the right point, winds and fires, and the shot is blocked by Kawaguchi. Puck goes to the right circle. Idaho gets it. As the Steelheads will carry it out to center ice. Idaho's outshot Utah 8-3 as they lead the game 1-0. Kawaguchi skates towards the end boards and look to center it towards White. It goes back up top to the left point, back to Kawaguchi. It tapped off his stick. He'll have to race to the corner to get it. He'll feed it up top to Heiskanen, but Utah takes it away. Grizzlies cross center ice with momentum. Right wing pass to Pfizer. Gains the line, feeds it across, but it's picked off by Idaho. As A.J. White will throw it off the far wing boards at center ice. Grizzlies will throw it back towards the Utah line. Now the Grizzlies get it back at their goal line as Victor Bartley stations himself behind Garrett Metcalf. About 6.5 minutes into the game, Idaho leads 1-0 as Vandenberg's got his 8th of the season. As Utah with the puck as McDonald feeds it across to Bartley, back to McDonald as Connor will skeet down the middle, throw a left wing pass. Utah enters the zone, left point shot, rolls back across and deflects out of play. Time out on the ice, 13:08 left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 1-0 as Jonas Vandenberg scored 5:11 into the contest. Justin Ducharme, Ryan Domowski with the assists. Idaho has outshot Utah 8-4 so far. The shots for Utah taken by Corey Thomas, Dakota Raby, Cam Strong, and Victor Bartley. It's an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies on the far circle, and it's won by Idaho as they skate from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. As Jade Miller 2-on-2 looked to center. It kicked off the skate of Victor Bartley and goes towards the near corner. 2-on-2 battle as Jade Miller hacking away. So is a Grizzly. Utah's Jordan Martell throws it ahead. Now Kubla left side. Shot goes wide. Puck glides along the far boards and into the Steelhead zone. Idaho chases it down as they'll pitch it around the wall. As Idaho now on the near side gets to Kubla. He'll feed it across to Hedrick, who gets it ahead to the left side. Idaho now in the zone. Willie Nearham skates towards the near goal line, takes a shot, and it goes wide of the mark. He tried to go over the glove of Garrett Metcalf as it goes to center ice. Bouncing puck for Utah. Cam Strong gains the line, stops on the left side. Idaho kicks it back to neutral ice. Grizzlies tried to dump it back in, and they did. As Utah makes a line change. Just about 8 minutes into the game as Idaho's Nick Canati with great speed crosses center ice. Skates down the middle, veers off to the left circle, takes a shot. Saved by Metcalf, and Garrett holds on. 12:09 left in the first period, but Nick Canati's speed can make a difference there as he just skated right down the middle and then veered off to the left to give himself a good scoring chance. That's the thing that Idaho does such a good job of. Actually, it bounced off of Metcalf's stick and flew out of play, as that's where the Canati shot ended up. As there's 12:09 left in the first, you want to see a lot of guys who can create their own scoring chance just out of nothing. And guys like Nick Canati, and it seems like Idaho's got a lot of those guys that really can create their own looks. Domowski will take the face-off for Idaho on the left side. Can't see who it is for Utah. I think it's Cam Strong. I think it's actually Keaton Jamison who backs out. Now Jamison will skate back in to take the face-off, and it's won by Idaho in the offensive zone. Canati feeds it across to Hedrick. Hedrick will skate back towards his left as the puck stays in the zone. He'll get it to Kawaguchi, or make that Vandenberg, who gets over to the right corner for Canati, and they throw it behind Utah's net. Grizzlies get it as they lift it in the air to neutralize. Grizzlies feed it across to Fitz. He'll gain the line, tried to center it over towards Jamison. It goes wide of the mark out to the left corner. Jamison chases after it. Grizzlies in the left point. Lefty shot goes wide. Utah skates towards the corner, and it's Aaron Tho, but Idaho takes it away as Hedrick will lift it out to center ice. Bouncing puck taken by Utah as the Grizz at center ice will dish it back in. Puck bounces off the end boards on one hop as chasing after it's Jordan Martell, as looks like a whistle is blown. 11:28 left in the first. We haven't had a penalty on either side as Idaho leads 1-0 as Vandenberg scored 5:11 into the contest. Let's see where the faceoff's going to be. That's a sharp-looking specialty jersey that Idaho is wearing tonight. Kind of a cream-colored jersey with pink mixed in. Penner will take the faceoff. He's got Raby to his right and Taryn Pfizer to his left. Pfizer had an assist last night. He is tied for the club lead with 9 goals, with Johnny Walker is missing his 10th straight game. As Idaho will win the faceoff, they'll clear it out. This is going to be icing. McDonald chases after it. No icing on the plays. McDonald feeds over to the far side. Grizzlies with an outlet pass off the near boards past Pfizer. As Fitz gets it, he'll skate towards the right circle. As Fitz fans on a shot, avoids a check in the corner as he gets over towards Raby. Raby throws it back to the left point. Grizzlies will throw it across the left side. Shot goes wide. Puck glides back towards Idaho on the near side. Kawaguchi feeds it out to center, but it's regathered by Utah. Connor McDonald will tap it off the far boards. Grizzlies will dump it back in. Poirier cuts it off behind his net. He'll feed it to the near corner. We've got about 10:40 left in the first period and counting. Idaho leads 1-0. As Register behind his own net. Zach Walker joins the ice as he'll skate towards Register. Now he'll skate back to the left side as Register still with the puck. Now he'll throw it out to the far side across to Walker at neutral ice. He gets around a Grizzlies check and dumps it in. Aaron Tho chases after it. He'll feed it back to the corner that he vacated. Idaho's centering pass picked off by Utah. Now it goes towards the left point of Utah's zone. Grizzlies will pitchfork it out to center ice, regathered by Hedrick. He'll skate back in to the offensive zone as he gets blasted and divorcing the puck. Utah tried to clear it out, stays in with Kudla. Centering pass shot, saved by Metcalf. Now Franklin with a shot that goes wide as he pitches it back to the corner. Franklin chases after it, far side, spins it around. Nobody was at the left point as it goes deep into the Steelheads zone. Grizzlies make a line change as McCallchuck enters the ice along with Strong and the Rooster Martell. As we're halfway through the first period, Idaho leads 1-0. As Cudlup feeds it across, Idaho crosses center ice. Now they gain the line right wing as Zach Walker gets hit. Now another big hit delivered by Utah on the far side. Walker gets the puck back. He did not play last night. He'll skate around Metcalf's net. I try to feather it out in front, and Utah pokes it away. Grizzlies, McCallchuck dumps it in, looking for the Rooster, but it's taken away by Idaho as it goes back to neutral ice. Grizzlies skate back in, but they're offside on the play with 9:23 left in the first. Timeout on the ice. We're back in 1 minute. Idaho leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Welcome back to Grizzlies Hockey. Idaho leads 1-0. Here, just past the halfway point of this first period. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. Guy, what have you seen so far from the Grizzlies?
Tyson, I think this game has been about possession so far. And unfortunately, Idaho has had the possession more than the Grizzlies have. So I think if the Grizzlies want to get back into this game, the transition game is a good way to jumpstart it. You mentioned that before, but they got to find a way to win the possession battle.
Idaho's outshot Utah 9-5 so far. Neutral zone draw won by Idaho. They're back in their own zones. They get it out to center ice as Jade Miller will dump it in, picked off by Utah. Now Idaho down the middle, gets the puck, lefty shot, and it goes wide. That shot was taken by, I can't tell for Idaho, as Utah takes it away. Grizzlies cross center and dump it in. Dylan Fitz chasing after it. Poirier behind his net will feed it towards the near side as it goes past everybody out to neutral ice. Now into the Grizzlies zone. It looks like it's going to be icing on to Idaho. As James Shearer chasing after it, 8:55 left in the first, and Shearer with an A on his sweater. He's one of Utah's team leaders, and he's about as solid as they come. He scored 3 goals late in the regular season last year for Utah. He played at the University of Calgary and was a great addition to Ryan Kanasewicz's crew last season, and he's certainly been solid for the Grizzlies. He missed 18 games right there about the start of the regular season after playing the first 3 contests. It was great to see him score 1 goal and 1 assist last night, as he's about as solid a defenseman as you see in this league. Penner will take the drop. It's won by Idaho, as Raby cut in front of Penner, but Idaho took it away. As the Steelheads skate in, Jack Becker will take a righty shot. Blocker saved by Metcalf. Puck still in play as Pfizer feeds it to McDonald. Now across to Bartley, who skates towards the far side. Bartley will lift it out to center ice. Pfizer chases after it, but Idaho gets it back as Register gets it across. Idaho playing with 5 defensemen tonight. Throw it out to center ice, left wing for Svanenbergs. He'll ricochet off the boards for Ducharme. He'll take a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Utah as Raby gets it to Penner. Penner crosses center ice left wing, and he'll chip it around the boards. Cut out by Poirier. Glances off his stick. Fits with a shot. Saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to Utah. Right side, just outside the corner. Now in the corner, Utah gets hit as they're looking for the puck. Idaho tried to nudge it ahead. Utah cuts it off as Utah got hit in the back, and that was Corey Thomas, the former Steelhead, who got hit by Ducharme. As the Grizzlies in the right corner get it taken away, Idaho skates along the near boards. As Domowski feeds it out to center ice looking for Svanenbergs. Utah pokes it back in deep into the Steelhead zone. Less than 8 minutes left in the first period. Idaho leads 1-0 as Colton Keller chips it in, tries to skate around a Grizzly. Corey Thomas chases after it. Thomas is about as big as any Grizzly at 6'5", 215. Now high slot as A.J. White skates to the left side, takes a shot, saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on as Register, or I think that was Cudler that was in the high slot, fed it to the left side for White, who threw a backhand shot that Metcalf made the save on. 7:35 left in the first. We haven't had a single penalty so far, and the Grizzlies' special teams has certainly been special over the last 4 or 5 games. Good job by Victor Bartley boxing out Colton Keller. Actually, it was Corey Thomas boxing out Colton Keller as Thomas utilizing his size, making sure that Keller didn't get a look out in front of the net. Draw's going to be in the near circle. 7:35 left in the first. So Steelheads have taken 11 shots. The Grizzlies have taken 6 here so far. Svanenberg scored 5-11 into the first, and that's really the deciding factor here so far. There's a draw in the near circle, won by Idaho, as Keller's shot saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies come back the other way. McCallchuck, right wing crosses center ice, and he'll dump it in. As Strong and the Rooster Jordan Martell chase after it. Puck skates towards the left side. Shearer shot saved by Poirier. And the Idaho goaltender holds on with 7:19 left in the first. Well, a high shot volume, a high shot count for both sides, as that's the 7th shot taken by the Grizzlies tonight. And really, you think about, Utah using the transition game, getting into the zone quickly. And as we talked about in the pregame show, just skating north-south and just not worrying about those east-west type of passes. The Grizzlies just kind of just taking it to the Steelheads on the offensive end, utilizing the transition game, turning defense into offense in a blur. As Idaho wins the faceoff, Cudlup will lift it out of play. And I don't know if it was delay of game or not, as there's 7:13 left in the first. James Shearer out on the ice for Utah. And he'll stay on the ice as Ryan Kanasowicz with some instruction for his unit. As the same 5 are on the ice for the Grizzlies. Strong will take the faceoff. He's got Martell to his left and McCallchuck to his right. Shearer and Nilsson, the defensive pairing. I got a feeling Andrew Nilsson's due for a big game here tonight. As the draw won by Utah. Martell on the left side skates towards the point. He takes a righty shot that's blocked. Idaho's Colton Keller will get it out to center ice. Idaho dumps it in. As Kawaguchi chases after it, he pushes Utah in the near corner. As Idaho's Colton Keller skates towards the left point. Utah gets it, and they'll clear it out all the way past Patrick Cudlup. And icing is going to be on Utah with 6:51 left in the first. Grizzlies and Steelheads will meet on Monday afternoon. 3 o'clock face-off. Actually, the puck will drop about 3:10. Pre-game show will be at 2:50. As there is a penalty on Idaho. Jordan Kawaguchi is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Not sure what he did, but he's going to be in the box for 2 minutes, and the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play for the first time tonight. 6:51 left in the first. Utah's power play is 22.6% this season, but the Grizzlies on the road have an outstanding power play. You think about the Grizzlies' power play on the road this season, it's second best in the league at 26.8%. As the draw won by Idaho, as Register gets over to Hedrick, he'll spin it along the boards and goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. As Metcalf behind his net will give it to Andrew Nilsson, who will skate towards the far side. And the Grizzlies. Andrew Nilsson will drop it off as the Grizzlies will cross center ice. Pfizer feeds it across. Utah skates towards the left corner as the Grizz try to get it back towards Pfizer. Idaho takes it away and clears it out. Idaho makes a line change 30 seconds into the Grizzlies' power play. 6:19 and counting left in the first as Andrew Nilsson will skate down the middle. Now he'll throw a right wing pass to Jamison, who will kick it across as the Grizzlies cross center ice. I think that's the Rooster. Now the Rooster gets it from Cameron Wright as he'll skate towards the left corner. Now back up top. Nilsson over to Pfizer on the right point. Back to the high slot for Nilsson. Andrew gets it to the left side for Martell. Back to Nilsson. One-timer, and it goes over the head of Poirier. Stays in play as Grizzlies try to chip it back to Pfizer. It stays in the near corner as everybody battling over there. Now coming out of the pile is Justin Misiak. He's got great speed as Pfizer dragged him down. No call. Misiak gets back to his feet at center ice and dumps it back in. As Metcalf behind his net, as Utah will matriculate some players in and out of the lineup, as Utah will feed a blue line pass. It connects to Fitz. It glanced off his stick. Fitz chases it down in the corner, spins it back to the left side as it goes to Aaron Tho. Tho gets it. He'll throw it back to, I think, Bartley. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Tho skates towards the near corner. Tho over in the right circle, gets it up top for Bartley. Bartley skates towards his left, gets it back to Tho. Tho over to the left point for Bartley. Back to Tho. One-timer, and a glove save by Poirier. Boy, that was a blast by Aaron Tho, but Poirier made a glove save. With 14 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play, Draw's going to be in the right circle. And Aaron Tho's one of those guys, you think about defensemen who have got a lethal one-timer on a couple of occasions. Aaron Tho has certainly demonstrated that. As it looks like Dylan Fitz is on the ice. Looks like Fitz will take the face-off for Utah. 5:05 left in the first. Idaho still leads 1-0. 14 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play, their first of the game, as Kawaguchi's in the box for 2 minutes. Idaho wins the draw. Owen Hendrick skates around his net. Now he'll lift the puck into the Grizzlies zone. A.J. White chases after it. Metcalf to the side of his net, feeds it to the far side. As the Grizzlies at neutral ice, power play is over as Raby will skate down the middle. As he'll skate over to the left, though, will take a shot, and it goes wide. As the puck ends up back in the right corner, Idaho gets it as Register will throw it out to center ice. Now it's taken by Ducharme. He skates the right circle with speed. He'll take a backhand shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound shot. And looks like the shot went wide. 4:32 left in the first. Boy, Idaho had a great chance there. And it looks like Garrett Metcalf made a great save. Boy, Justin Ducharme showing great speed. You can see why he spent some time in the AHL. Puck ended up back over there. And it looked like Tho was in the area. I don't know how the puck didn't end up in the back of the net there, as Metcalf left some loose change, and then who knows what happened with that other shot. The puck just kind of disappeared. 4:32 left in the first as Idaho leads 1-0. As both teams will get some rest, we'll talk with Guy Chiarenza here. And Guy, I'm not sure what happened to that last puck, but good job by Garrett Metcalf.
Yeah, Tyson, Garrett Metcalf once again is making crucial saves at crucial times and keeping the Grizzlies in this game. I really have no idea what happened with that last shot. I have a couple of theories. One, it just goes high and up and out of play. We saw a Grizzlies player stick his hand up, maybe indicating that it went out, or maybe it just got swallowed up by a defenseman in front. Either way, the Grizzlies keep this one close, and it's still a 1-0 game.
Utah has had some good lucks. Dakota Raby had one early on. Tho had a one-timer from the right side that Poirier had to make a good save on. Idaho's outshot Utah 12-9, but anything else stick out to you?
You mentioned Dakota Raby. I feel like he's had a really good game so far. He's playing with a lot of speed, and he's making things happen in the transition game, which you mentioned before, and I think is a key to win if the Grizzlies want to win this game. But Dakota Raby has just been going up and down the ice with ease.
Looks like the Kawaguchi penalty was a slashing minor. 13:09 into the first period. Utah was able to get a couple shots there on the power play, but Idaho still leads 1-0 as Jonas Vandenberg scored 5:11 into the contest. Justin Ducharme and Ryan Domowski picked up the assist. So Garrett Metcalf has stopped 11 of 12 so far. Remy Poirier has stopped all 9 shots that he has seen. As the draw is going to be in the near circle of the Grizzlies zone as we return to live action. 4:32 left in the first period. Utah wins the draw. They skate from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. As Idaho gets it back at center ice, Domowski will dump it in. Ducharme with great speed will skate towards the corner. Far side, he loses it. Grizzlies around their own net as they'll pitch it over to the near boards. Now it goes back to Utah, who skates back towards the far side as they'll tap it off the far boards. Idaho keeps the puck in the zone as they skate towards the left. They'll drop it off for Kanadi, who skates around the net. Kanadi now on the far corner as he'll chip it out towards Svanenbergs, who takes a shot that goes wide as Utah in the far corner gets it. As Utah still in their own zone, gets it across. The numbers are a little bit difficult to spot on the Grizzlies jersey tonight. Utah gets it out towards center ice. They'll bounce it off the boards. Penner chasing after it. Pfizer as well as it goes out to center ice. Now goes back into the Grizzlies zone. Utah feeds it across. James Shearer gets it. He'll skate back towards his end wall. Now feed it across as the Grizzlies get it back to Shearer, who's behind Utah's net. 3.5 minutes left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0. Near wing pass. Grizzlies will carry it across center ice as Cameron Wright skates towards the right corner, gets around Kudla. Now bouncing off the end boards as he was looking for a shooting angle. Now to the left side. Wright continues to get held up by Owen Hedrick. Idaho has the puck as they skate around their own net. They'll feed it over to Kawaguchi as he'll lift it in the air. It goes over the head of Colton Keller, deep into the Grizzlies zone. Shearer chases after it. Metcalf plays it to the side of his net. No icing as there's 3 minutes left in the first. And it's James Shearer surveys the landscape in front of him. Shearer feeds it over to the far side. As the Grizzlies out to center, Idaho gets the puck back as Register will feed it across as Kawaguchi will move it ahead as A.J. White dumps it in. Chasing after it's Kawaguchi in the near side. Sharp angled shot and goes wide as he was looking for Keller out in front. Keller gets up top now across to Haskinen. He'll take a righty shot and it's blocked as Idaho around the net over to the right side. Shot blocked again as Keller gets back checked as Utah takes the puck. As James Shearer will stop in the near circle of his own zone, get it across to Nielsen. We'll throw an outlet pass. It got redirected at center ice. No icing as Idaho gets the puck deep in their own zone. Steelheads skate down the middle. Now they feed a left wing pass to center ice for Misiak, who gets around a skater. Now bouncing off a Grizzly, and it goes to the near side. Misiak gets it back. So get it across the right side for Register. Register gets it back to Misiak, who skated towards the right point himself, and he'll bounce it to the end wall as Idaho couldn't accept it as it rolls along the boards all the way into the Steelhead zone. Keller chases after it, and he plays the puck, no icing. Less than 2 minutes are left in the first period. Idaho still leads 1-0. As the Steelheads get it over to Register, he'll carry it out to the Idaho blue line. Now feed it across as Zane Franklin will skate towards the right side. Actually, I think that's Walker with a similar hairstyle. He looked to center it out in front. Metcalf picks it off and holds on as he covers up the puck with 1:37 left in the first. So the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone as Zach Walker just skated around Tyler Penner as Corey Thomas doing a good job cutting him off. And the thing with Corey Thomas is if he's utilizing his size the way he has in the first period, he can be a very effective player for the Grizzlies. And I really like here over the last handful of games how Corey Thomas has utilized his size in playing a physical brand of hockey. Draws give me the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. We'll go over all the stats and scenarios of this first period with Guy Chiarenza. And during the second intermission, we'll show you what the SpongeBob SquarePants themed jerseys look like on the YouTube feed as Idaho wins the draw left point. As Pfizer shadowing Kudla, they'll spin it around as it's cut off behind Utah's net as the Grizz have it. As Utah, still in their own zone, will skate towards the far goal line. Utah will pitch it out to center ice. Now the Grizz of the center ice logo. Penner skates in. High slot shot saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to the right side as Dakota Raby will toss it back to the left point. Grizz get it across to McDonald. They'll take a righty shot and it bounced off of Jade Miller. Stays in play along the end wall as Idaho will feed it ahead. As the Steelheads out to center ice. Jade Miller will dish it across, but Utah picks it off. Great defensive play. I think that was Dylan Fitz. He'll throw it from one blue line to the other. Idaho gets the puck back. Utah gets it as they skate around towards the left side. Martell gets it across to Cam Strong, who overskates it at neutral ice. Idaho will try to dump it in. It's taken away by Utah with 40 seconds left in the first. As the Grizz get it across the left side, Utah accepts it out to the left side, drops it off out to the left circle. Grizz around the net. Now they're trying to feed it out in front, and the pass went wide. Left point, Michalchuk, righty shot, gets blocked, and the Grizzlies dump it back in, but the arm is raised for a delayed offside, so Utah will retreat defensively. 20 seconds left in the period. Idaho up ahead. Misiak trying to feed it to the left circle. Utah pokes it away. Now Svanenberg skates towards the right circle, takes a righty shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes towards the far board, 6 seconds left. Utah gets it out to center, over towards Michalchuk. He gets it poked away, and that will do it for 20 minutes over at Idaho Central Arena as Idaho leads 1-0 as Jonas Vandenberg scored 5:11 into the first period with Justin Ducharme and Ryan Domowski getting the assists. We'll go over all the stats of the first period and talk with Guy Chiarenza and get his thoughts on things. And we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports as we're through 20 minutes over at Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 1 and the Grizzlies 0. Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report returns in 2 minutes on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Siegfried and Jensen, the law firm for accident victims. And make sure to give them a call and go to their website, siegfriedandjensen.com. As Idaho leads 1-0, they outshot the Grizzlies 15-10 in the first period. The only goal scored was by Jonas Vandenberg, his 8th of the season. And Vandenberg's really done a number on the Grizzlies this year. As I'm thinking 8 goals this season, but a few of them have come against Utah. In fact, that's the 5th goal against the Grizzlies this season. 5 of the 8 have come against Utah, but that's not too surprising considering it's already the 14th meeting this season between the clubs. For Utah, 14 of their 33 games have been against the Steelheads, and for Idaho, 14 of their 34 have been against the Grizzlies. Justin Ducharme and Ryan Domowski picked up the assists. Otherwise, it was a great first period for Garrett Metcalf, who stopped 14 of 15 for the Grizzlies in their 10 shots. Victor Bartley had 2, and then 8 other Grizzlies had 1 shot. For Idaho, they had 15 in the first period. Vandenberg's led the way with 3 shots. Ducharme, A.J. White, and Zach Walker had 2 shots, and then a bunch of other Steelheads had 1 shot each. There was 1 penalty committed in the first period. Jordan Kawaguchi got a slashing minor, 13:09 in. The best shot the Grizzlies had on that power play was a one-timer from Aaron Tho from the right wing, but Poirier was able to make the glove save. The Idaho goaltender, Remy Poirier, stopped all 10 shots that he saw in the first period. So those are pretty basic first period, with Vandenberg's goal being the difference in the game as we bring in Guy Chiarenza. And Guy, even though it seemed like Idaho had the puck in the offensive zone a little bit more than Utah, this Vandenberg's goal right now is the difference.
Yeah, it is the difference. And I think a lot of the times we've seen this game come down to the transition game. And you mentioned it earlier, and I think that's what it's going to be. You saw Idaho have a lot of possession time, but it's still only a 1-goal game. And so I think the Grizzlies defense has done a good job of shutting down the Steelheads so far. But I think the key to this game is, can the Grizzlies get something going on offense? And more particularly, can they do it 5-on-5? And that's something that we asked in the pregame show. And you talked about the transition game earlier. I looked to a guy like Dakota Raby. He's been fantastic so far this game. He's been going up and down the ice. You mentioned that north-south game. Seems like he's going to be the key as he's got a lot of speed.
It seems like Michalchuk's really picked it up. I thought he had a good first period for the Grizzlies, and I think James Shearer also, was impressive in that first period. And, Garrett Metcalf doing a good job, I think, as he does all year, just keeping the Grizzlies in things.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Metcalf has a winning record for a reason. He's a fantastic goalie, and he seems to make key saves during key times. I mean, there was a few times where the Steelheads had some really good looks, and Garrett Metcalf was there to shut down and say no to any of that. So Garrett Metcalf is one of the reasons why this is only a one-goal game.
And for the Grizzlies, kind of like how they scored some goals last night, they just got to find a way to get the puck near the paint. Got to get in the crease area. And I think with that transition game, it could be a little bit difficult when you're going north-south and you're not really able to settle in. That's where I think the Grizzlies have had success on the power plays. They're able to settle in, get bodies out in front of the net, and to where, that puck ends up in those areas where you can score against good goaltenders like Adam Schill last night and Poirier here tonight.
Yeah, Tyson, I agree. And I think the key is going to be just play hard and drive the net. Just drive the net, see if you can get a look, and see if you can get some low shots and get some rebounds. Poirier, I don't think he's been tested too much so far with quality opportunities. I would start taking shots low, get a guy in front of the net. If you're not able to get something going, really set up in the offensive zone, at least drive the net and try and get some rebounds.
Should be an interesting next 20 minutes of play. And really think about the Grizzlies special teams. I wonder if it's going to be one of those games where they're going to let them play. And I got to imagine Idaho's philosophy going into this game, or their game plan, is to stay out of the penalty box, because that's where Utah was able to make their hay. And you think about it, the Grizzlies, as we mentioned before, have struggled a little bit scoring 5-on-5. And so I think Idaho would like to play 5-on-5 as much as possible tonight.
Yeah, Tyson, it seems like that was certainly the memo from not only Everett Sheen, the Idaho coach, but also from Ryan Kanachwich, the Utah coach. I think we saw a lot of penalties taken last night. And if you're a coach, that's not what you want to see. And so while the special teams game may benefit the Grizzlies recently, don't forget Idaho has a very potent special teams department of their own. So I think both coaches would prefer if this is just a clean game.
There's 0 days rest between last night's game and tonight. That actually benefits the Grizzlies. Utah this season, when having 0 days rest, has a record of 7-5-1. So Utah, one of those teams, they play pretty well. And they also play pretty well in the second game of a 2-game series where they've got a record of 7-5. So Utah is one of those teams that, they're well-conditioned. I think if they're going to do something, it's going to have to be the defenseman. And one guy I'm looking for, it feels like he's due. It feels like Andrew Nilsson at some point is going to make a big play for the Grizzlies, either setting up somebody on a power play or scoring his 5th goal of the season.
It seems like it, doesn't it? And he's been kind of quiet recently. He spent a lot of time in the penalty box last night. But, I mean, this is a guy where if you can really get him going, he's going to be a key in making a run down the stretch. And Andrew Nilsson's that kind of guy where he doesn't score a lot of goals, but he has a ton of assists. So if you can maybe get him to start quarterbacking things in the offensive zone, we've seen him do it on the power play. If you can make things run through Andrew Nilsson and get him to distribute pucks perfectly, I think he could be a key, and the Grizzlies going a long way.
Watch out for Cameron Wright in the second period as well. He's got a point in all 4 games in the month of January. This is the 5th game that the Grizzlies have played in January. They're 2-1-1 in the month. Taryn Pfizer, Tyler Penner, and Aaron Tho each have 2-game point scoring streaks. So watch out for those guys here in the second period. When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports. Idaho leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to Grizzlies hockey, first intermission. Idaho leads 1-0 as Giannis Vandenberg scored 5-11 into the contest. Games around the world of sports. Let's start with the ECHL. Checking to see if Miles Gendron made his debut with Greenville, and he did. He didn't register anything on the stat sheet, but Miles Gendron yesterday, the former Grizzly, signed with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. He's wearing number 59, and he didn't get any stats for Greenville tonight, but he was in the lineup as Greenville defeated Savannah by a 2-1 score. Other games that have gone final in the league. Orlando defeats Trois-Rivières 4-2. Reading over Adirondack 3-1. Newfoundland is a 6-4 winner over Worcester. Maine also scored 6 goals as they defeat Norfolk 6-3. Norfolk's record goes to 6-28-1-2 this season. Florida over South Carolina 4-2. Indy defeats Kalamazoo 3-2. Jacksonville is a 5-4 winner over Atlanta. Cincinnati over Wheeling 4-3. Fort Wayne defeats Toledo 7-4. And games in progress right now involving Mountain Division teams. Iowa and Kansas City are tied at 3. That game with 18 minutes to go in regulation. Looks like for Kansas City, McKenna, Tommy Muck, and Pascal LaBerge have the Kansas City goals. Shane Starrett is starting a net for Kansas City and has stopped 17 of 20 so far. Second intermission over at BOK Center. That's where the Grizzlies are going to be next weekend. Rapid City leads Tulsa 3-1 as Zach Court, Keanu Yamamoto, and Calder Brooks have the Rapid City goals. The Birdman, Maxime Galad, scores his third of the year for Tulsa, 5:33 into the second period as Rapid City leads Tulsa 3-1. The Grizzlies will be at BOK Center for a 3-game and 3-day set. That's going to be next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the first 3 meetings against the Tulsa Oilers since last season's 2022 Kelly Cup playoffs, the first round series where Utah won 4-3. Face off next Friday and Saturday will be at 6:05 in the Mountain Time Zone. Pre-game coverage will begin at 5:50. And then Sunday, January 22nd, is going to be a 3 o'clock start in the Mountain Time Zone, 4:05 locally at BOK Center. And the Wichita Thunder lead Allen 2-1. That game with 13 and a half minutes left in the third period. As looks like Wallen and McPherson have the Wichita goals. Jack Combs scored his 20th of the season for Allen, but Wichita leads 2-1. The Thunder have outshot the Americans 31-22. And it's a busy night in the NHL here on this Saturday evening. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, opened up a can on Ottawa, 7-0, the final score there. As the Avalanche hoping for a good second half of the season as the defending champions. And as an homage to the Avalanche winning the championship last season, that's what the Grizzlies are wearing. Avalanche-themed, not specially jerseys, but alternate jerseys, as the Grizzlies, for the second straight night, wearing Avalanche-colored jerseys, a navy blue top, a little bit of that Avalanche type of red, kind of a burgundy or whatever that is, kind of red, and a little bit of white mixed in. So that's what the Grizzlies are wearing this weekend. Other NHL games that have gone final. Calgary defeated Dallas 6-5. Boston over Toronto 4-3. Columbus defeats Detroit 4-3. Grizzlies Vice President Jared Youngman had a seat in the second row of that Columbus-Detroit game. He posted the picture as he was with his son and significant other. They went to Detroit, as I think he's there this weekend, and Jared Youngman had a good seat at Little Caesars Arena for Columbus's 4-3 victory over Detroit. It was also a 4-3 final as Florida defeats Vancouver. Islanders over the Canadiens 2-1. And the Flyers over the Capitals 3-1. Hurricanes over the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1. Sorry about that, guy. He's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Games in progress. Early third period. Seattle leads Chicago 7-3. Second intermission. Lightning lead the Blues 4-2. Also, after 2 periods, Buffalo and Nashville are tied at 3. Early third period, Wild lead the Coyotes 2-0. In the NBA, the Utah Jazz are taking on Philadelphia tonight in the place known as Vivint Smart Home Arena. But hey, come July, it's going to be the Delta Center. And you think about that trophy right there, the 1996 Kelly Cup. That was won at the Delta Center, where the Grizzlies swept the Orlando Solar Bears. That's right, Orlando, who's in this league as well. They met in the Turner Cup Finals in 1996, and the Grizzlies won 4-0. Everybody remembers the overtime game winner as the Grizzlies were champions. And what a scene it was at the Delta Center. And come July, it's going to be the Delta Center once again. As for Maverick Center, I think it's been about 10 years or so that it's been the Maverick Center. Before that, they were, it was known as the E Center. And that was the original name for this building. When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll have second period action as Idaho leads 1-0. And Giannis Vandenberg says the difference in the game as he scored 5-11 into the contest. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
And we're about set to start second period action over at Idaho Central Arena. As the Steelheads lead 1-0, Giannis Vandenberg scored 5-11 into the first period. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. And the Grizzlies in the second periods this season have outscored opponents 37-36. Idaho, really in all three periods, has just dominated. As in the second periods this season, Idaho has outscored opponents 46-24. And Guy, you think about the second period, the Grizzlies really had that game-changing 5-minute major power play in last night's game. And I think for the Grizzlies, it'll be interesting to see who ends up stepping up and scoring that game-tying goal.
Yeah, Tyson, it seems like we have a cleaner played game tonight with a lot less penalties, so I don't expect the special teams game to be as much of a factor tonight. I think the Grizzlies need to come out and they need to play very hard. They need to play very intense. You need to establish the forecheck to start this period, or else the Steelheads are going to take that and they're going to try and run away with this thing. So I think the first 5 minutes here are going to be critical.
We've been thinking about that forward line of Wright, Jamison, and Fitz. That's the three forwards that started the game. And really, it's been that forward line that's gotten the job done. You think about in the 4 games in the month of January, Wright has 6 points, 4 goals, and 2 assists. Jamison has 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists. And Dylan Fitz has 3 goals in his last 3 games. One guy to watch out for is last night's hero, the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who has 5 points in his last 4 games as well. As it looks like we're about set for second period action as the puck is dropped and we're underway for the second. Grizzlies skate from right to left in their navy blue jerseys. They dump it into the corner. Utah chases after it as they look to center it, and it's picked off as they're looking for Fitz in the right circle. Idaho skates from left to right. They'll cross center ice and dump it in as Utah chases after it. James Shure around the net feeds over to the far side as the Grizzlies still in their own zone. Get it across to Shure. It taps off his ankle. He gets the puck as they'll feed it ahead to the right wing. Grizzlies around center ice will back it out into their own zone as Andrew Nilsson gets it across. Back to Nilsson near the Idaho bench. He'll throw it to center ice. Pass connects. Jamison trying to get it across to Wright. Idaho gets a stick in the way as Wright has to chase to the corner. So he'll spin it back around left point. Grizzlies get it over to Jamison or make that Cameron Wright. He gets it across. Idaho picks it off. Wright chases it down in the high slot, nudges it ahead. Idaho gets held up. Now another Steelhead gets it. Colton Keller will chip it out to neutral ice. Grizzlies poke it back towards the far wing boards. Willie Nerum delivers a hit. He crosses center ice. Will give it over to Becker. Left point, Becker shot. Kick saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the far corner. Utah feeds it across. Now ahead. Pass picked off in the right circle as Willie Nerum skates towards the goal line. Takes a shot and he scores. Boy, Willie Nerum scored on an almost impossible angle. 18:49 left in the second as Idaho is taking a 2-0 lead. For Willie Nerum, he scores his 6th goal of the season. As the Grizzlies were over in the right corner, just had a pass picked off, and then Nerum skated towards the near goal line, and he did. And boy, I don't know how he got that in there. He just kind of snuck it right there in this small area above Garrett Metcalf's left shoulder. That's a great shot by Nerum based on the angle that he had. It looked like he fired it over Metcalf's shoulder. That's one of those, you try to do that 1,000 times, you're not going to get that more than about 50 of 1,000. But Willie Nerum with a great shot as Idaho leads 2-0. Grizzlies win the faceoff, cross center ice. They tried to dump it in. It flies out of play. 18:45 left in the second as Nerum gets his 6th goal of the season and his 2nd goal against the Grizzlies this year. Draw is going to be at neutral ice. 18:45 left in the second. Actually, the draw is going to be at center ice. As it's taken by Tyler Penner, but it's won by Idaho. There's a cross center ice skating from left to right, and they dump it in. Aaron Tho chases after it. He feeds it across to Corey Thomas. Thomas avoids a check in the corner by Colton Keller. Keller and Thomas fought each other in December on Maverick center ice. As Keller goes down, no call. A.J. White will feed it back to the left circle as Idaho gets it up top. As Patrick Kudla rolls it back to the left circle. Now up top for Hedrick. High slot, righty shot, and it goes wide. Puck bounces off the end boards. Grizzlies get the rebound. Utah starts the attack. They cross center ice. They'll get it ahead, looking for Simeone. He'll skate towards the corner. He'll stop along the end wall, get to the right side. Utah couldn't get a shot off from the far circle. Idaho gets it. They'll carry it out to center ice and dump it in. As Nick Canati chases after it. Utah gets the puck as Corey Thomas will nudge it out to center ice. It bounces off the far boards. And Utah is going to be called for icing with 17:50 left here in the second. So Idaho leads 2-0 as the goal was scored by Willie Nerum. And it might be unassisted. Actually, it is going to be an unassisted goal as he just picked off a Utah pass and just lifted it over Garrett Metcalf, who looked like he was in good position covering up the near side, but it looked like Nerum just went top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jar. And it looks like Willie Nerum came across with a bunch of tasty cookies and his 6th goal of the season. As Utah wins the draw. They throw it to the right point. Idaho gets it. Canadi's shot is blocked. Now the Grizzlies will bounce it off an Idaho skate. Stays in the Grizzly zone. Now Utah clears it out to center. And left wing, Grizzlies dump it in as Poirier will give way to an Idaho defenseman. 2.5 minutes into the second period, Idaho leads 2-0 as a ricochet off the near boards, goes back to Utah as McCallchuk will nudge it ahead looking for the Rooster. He'll chase after it deep in the Steelhead zone as the puck glides along the near boards, and it goes out towards center ice over to Metcalf, who plays it to the side of his net, and he gives it to the captain, Connor McDonald. Connor feeds it over to the near corner to Bartley, back to McDonald as McDonald still behind his own net. 3 minutes into the second period, he'll feed it to the near side. Grizzlies cross center as Cam Strong with a lot of speed enters the zone. He'll veer off into the right corner as he gets hit by Matt Register. Register takes the puck away. He'll toss off the near boards as Idaho will dish it out to center ice. Ducharme chases after it. McDonald pokes it back towards the near wall as the Grizzlies feed it out to neutral ice. It glanced off the Steelhead, but delayed offside. Utah takes it. McDonald up ahead looking for Martell, and the pass is wide of the mark as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. 3.5 minutes into the third period, Idaho leads 2-0. As they got a first period goal from Spanenbergs and a second period goal by Willie Nerum. As Idaho over in the left point get pushed along the boards by McCallchuk. Now they skate towards the middle. Shot by Misiak is blocked. Grizzlies come back the other way. 2-on-2. Utah gains the line. Cameron Wright gets blasted by Franklin. Big collision as it goes towards the slot. As it pokes off the stick of Zach Walker. Now another Steelhead gets it back to Walker, right wing across the center ice, dumps it around Dylan Fitz and over to the right corner. As Utah back towards the near side, Idaho chases after it. Keller gets over to Misiak, who skates around Utah's net. Misiak tries to get around a Grizzlies. He's pushed towards the far corner. Now they get it over to Zach Walker in the right corner. He'll look to center it towards Hedrick. Utah cuts in front of them as the Grizz clear it out. This goes into the Steelhead zone. Cody Haskinen gets it. He'll skate around his net. Now he'll stop behind Remy Poirier as Idaho leads 2-0 about 4.5 minutes into the second period. As Haskinen feeds it to the far side, Idaho crosses center, and they'll chip it over to the right side for Keller. Keller will bounce it off the boards. Haskinen skates over there, tried to lift it across, and didn't get much on it. This goes back to Haskinen as Kawaguchi gets spun down. Grizzlies will carry it out of the zone. They cross center ice. Utah overskates the puck. White pokes it back to center ice. Grizzlies get it back as Andrew Nilsson will toss it ahead, and the pass is incomplete. It goes deep into the Steelhead zone. No icing as Owen Hedrick collides with a Grizzly as the Steelheads spin it along the near boards. Keller feeds it out to center ice for Kawaguchi, who couldn't handle it. Now the Grizzlies back in their own zone as Bartley gets it across to McDonald. Now to center ice. Idaho tried to extend the stick but couldn't. Now another Steelhead will bounce it off a Penner, delayed offside. It's taken by the Steelheads as Idaho back deep in their own zone will station themselves behind Remy Poirier. 14:38 and counting left in the second. Idaho leads 2-0. Idaho feeds to the far side. They cross center ice and dump it in. Metcalf spins it along the wall to the near side. It goes past Nick Canati and everybody. And it looks like it's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. 14 minutes and 26 seconds left in the second period as Idaho leads 2-0. Here in the second of 3 straight meetings between the clubs. Utah won 5-3 last night. Tonight, Idaho leads 2-0. And remember, Monday afternoon, 3:10 face-off, 2:50 pregame show here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, as it's going to be sensory-friendly day and Nickelodeon Day at Maverick Center. It's the first home game for the Grizzlies in the 2023 calendar year. Draw's going to be in the right circle. Second intermission. We'll talk about all the home games the Grizzlies have coming up in January. Left point, Steelhead shot saved by Metcalf. Garrett is on his keister as he's covered it up. Good job by Victor Bartley and Connor McDonald, as well as the Grizzlies forwards, Cam Strong over there protecting Metcalf, as they're doing a great job boxing out Idaho from getting that dirty, greasy goal out in front of the net. As Becker is out there net front, and so is Vandenbergs, and good job by Victor Bartley and company. And that's where the Grizzlies defensemen, I think, do a pretty good job, is protecting their goaltender out in front of the net. Becker will take the draw in the right circle for Idaho. I think for Utah, it's Keaton Jamison. 14:19 left in the second. I love the Grizzlies jerseys they're wearing this weekend, but the numbers don't really pop out on the screen as much to me. So it goes out to center ice. Nick Canati gets it as he'll skate back into his own zone, being chased by Jordan Martell. As Canati crosses center ice, gets around a skater. Now Canati over to the right side, gets around a skater, and they look to center it. Utah dives in front of the puck. Good play by Aaron Tho. So it gets over to Corey Thomas. Thomas skates towards the near corner. He'll wrap it around looking for Tho. Tho has a bounce off his stick to the far corner. Idaho feeds it back to the far corner where they vacated. As Mikalchuk in the area collides with Keller. Now left point, lefty shot, saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. 13:43 left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-0. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 2-0 as Willie Nerum scored 1:11 into the second period. It was an unassisted goal. And Guy Chiarenza and I have been talking about during the break, that was a great shot by Nerum. I don't know there's much Metcalf could have done about it.
Yeah, Tyson, that was just a fantastic play by Nerum. I mean, there was nothing the Grizzlies defense did wrong, nothing that Garrett Metcalf did wrong. It was just the puck had eyes and ended up in the back of the net. Fantastic shot by Nerum.
2-0 Steelheads, 13:43 left in the second. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Garrett Metcalf has hung strong here tonight. The second game of a back-to-back for him as he stopped 29 of 32 last night. His backup, I believe, is Trent Miner. And remember, Lucas Preek also joined the club earlier this week. And so Ryan Kanaswich has a tough decision as he's got 3 really good goaltenders on his roster right now. Draw in the far circle, waiting for the linesman to drop the puck, and he does. Utah wins the draw. I think that was Dylan Fitz taking the face-off for Utah as the Grizzlies lifting out to center ice. Bouncing puck goes to Idaho at their line. They fanned on a pass. Now the Grizzlies roll it around the boards. It goes to the near side as Domowski loses it. Hedrick gets it back for Idaho as he feeds it towards the far side. Now Justin Ducharme with great speed has the puck. Ducharme spent some time in the AHL, and he's a highly skilled forward. He'll skate down the middle. Now tapping out to center ice. Grizzlies pick it off as James Shearer will nudge it ahead out to center ice. Utah will feed it back to Andrew Nilsson in the Grizzlies zone as Nilsson will skate towards his left. Now pitch it out to center ice, and the puck bounced off a stick and goes to Idaho as Domowski skates towards the corner, gets knocked down. Now another Steelhead gets it. They try to drop it off for Kudla. Utah takes it away. Grizz up ahead to the right side. Cameron Wright skates towards the right circle, takes a shot. Glove saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to Nilsson. Takes a shot, and it's blocked. Left wing shot, saved by Poirier. Boy, great chances by the Grizzlies there. They had a good look, and it just looked like for whatever reason they had a tough time really being able to handle the puck. As Grizzlies threw it ahead to Cameron Wright, he skated towards the right circle, took a shot. Poirier bobbled it. Then Poirier tried to clear it out. Nilsson picked it off, and then Jamison from the left side took the shot, and Poirier was able to make that save as they show a replay on Flow Sports. As the draw is going to be in the Steelhead zone. That's one of Utah's best chances here tonight, and probably their best look so far in the second period. Draw is going to be in the left circle. Keaton Jamison will take it. As he crouches down, Taron Pfizer over in the left wing. As the draw won by the Grizzlies. Pfizer around the net gets poked away. Haskin gets over to Keller along the near boards. As Raby's on the ice as well. As Idaho carries it across center ice. White with a right wing pass to Kawaguchi. He'll feed it over to the near corner for White, who spins it back to the far side. Idaho in the left wing, chip it over to the corner for Kawaguchi. Utah holds up Kawaguchi. Utah has not committed a penalty that was been called by the referee tonight. Grizzlies get it across. Now head across center ice for Penner. Penner gets it poked away. Keller gets it out to center ice. Idaho chasing after it. A.J. White in the right circle gets it. He'll take a backhand shot, and it hits the side of the net. Connor McDonald skates in to get the rebound. He'll throw a pass Tyler Penner out to center ice, gathered by Nick Canati. Canati back in his own zone wearing number 3. He'll chip it out to center ice for Franklin, who gets around Pfizer. Franklin gains the offensive line left point, and he'll feed it over to the right corner. Grizzlies get it off the hop as Connor McDonald will tap it off the boards. Zach Walker chips it back in for Franklin. Franklin skates towards the right side, feeds it across the left. Idaho now around the goal line. Franklin in the area as Utah delivers a hit. Now Franklin in the far corner feeds it up top to the left point as the Steelheads. And I think that's Matt Register. He'll skate towards the right side. Now down the middle, takes a shot. Saved by Metcalf as Walker tries to gather the puck. Penner pokes it away. Penner gets tripped up, no calls. The referee is letting him play tonight. As Walker over to Canati, skates towards the right corner. Centering pass shot on it goes wide. As the Grizzlies out to the far side, carry it across center ice and dump it in. Utah at the end of their shift. It looks like both teams having a tough time handling the puck here in the second period. As Zach Walker feeds it out to center ice as everybody stops skating as the whistle blew. 11:06 left in the second period. And are we going to get a penalty? It looks like the linesman's pointing towards the Grizzlies zone. Zach Walker over there talking with the referee. As looks like the draw, I'm not sure the faceoff's going to be. 11:06 left in the second. Idaho leads 2-0. Looks like we're going to skate 5-on-5 as action's going to be in the Steelhead zone. Vandenberg scored a first period goal, 5-11 in, and then Willie Nerum made it 2-0 as he scored 1-11 into the second. As the draw won by Utah as they skate towards the near corner as Utah gets held up along the wall. As they try to break free, Idaho will gather the puck, and they'll skate from left to right. Corey Thomas at neutral ice will chase after it. It goes to Aaron Tho, actually goes to Idaho, as Jade Miller looks to center to bounce it off with Tho. Now Kudla, right point, one of the best defensemen in the league, spins it around as Thomas gets it taken away as Idaho in the left corner looking for Jack Becker. They get it to Becker. He takes a righty shot. Glove saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on as Becker had a good look. It looked like Idaho was very patient in the far corner looking for Becker, who was just out in front of the net. They got the pass to Becker. He took a shot, and then Metcalf, with a lightning-quick glove, was able to just snatch it and hold on. As Kyle Pouncey was on the ice for that shift with Corey Thomas. as Pouncey now takes a seat right in front of Jared Pike, the Grizzlies assistant. Draw is going to be in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone. As the draw won by Utah, as over to the right side, they'll get it across Utah around center ice. They'll chip it over to the right side and dump it in as Dylan Fitz chases after it. He gets it behind Idaho's net over to Pfizer. Now up top for Nilsson. Nilsson with a lefty shot, and it's blocked as it rolls along the far boards. As Utah will chip it back around. Nilsson, the left side, cuts it off, and puck ends up exiting the zone. Idaho gets it 2-on-2 as they skate towards the left corner. They look to center it to Kawaguchi, passes wide, and the puck's still in play towards the right corner. Idaho feeds it back across the left side as the Steelheads in the offensive zone. Idaho feeds out to the far corner. Utah delivers a hit and holds up Idaho along the wall as the Steelheads skate towards the left corner. Kawaguchi being shadowed as he'll feed it up top. Puck bounced off a Grizzly stick. Utah gets it. Tyler Penner will chip it ahead. It goes to center ice. And Wright dumps it in. Grizzlies make a line change. Idaho chases after it deep in their own zone. 9.5 minutes left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-0, so we're past the halfway point. As Colton Keller will throw it out to center ice and deep into the Grizzlies zone. Metcalf behind his net gets it, and he'll slide it towards the near side. And it goes out to the right point. Kawaguchi gets it taken away. Oh, but the Grizzlies committed a penalty as the arm was raised by the referee, and it looked like Raby touched the puck. It looks like Raby, he's not the one to go to the penalty box, but Utah is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. And if you or someone you know been charged with a DUI, Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team. Rogers and Russell. Idaho's on the power play for the first time tonight. When we come back in 30 seconds, it's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies nothing on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Penner is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for hooking. Time of penalty 10:44 into the second period. Utah's penalty kill is 19 for 20 over their last 5 games, and this is a big-time penalty kill as the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone in the far circle. A.J. White will take the draw for Idaho. This would normally be a chance where Penner would take the face-off. I think that's Jamison out there. Draw won by Idaho as Colton Keller to the right side feeds it towards Cudlow in the high slot. He'll get it to the left side. Idaho to the far goal line, moves the puck around quickly. Now, and Metcalf snatches it. As Idaho is in the far goal line, they tried to feed it across to White, but Metcalf with his quick glove gathers it. 9:06 left in the second period. It was Cam Strong that took the draw for Utah. It was quick reflexes by Garrett Metcalf as Strong will take the draw for Utah again. 9 seconds into the Idaho power play. White wins the faceoff for Idaho as the Steelheads will skate towards the high slot. Cudlow winds, fakes a shot, feeds it over to the left side. Kawaguchi shot, blocker saved by Metcalf, and the puck flies out of play as we get another whistle. 1:42 left in the Idaho power play, and already Metcalf has touched the puck twice here shorthanded. Cam Strong's one of those guys. He's really picked up the scoring slack as of late. He's been a strong two-way forward for the Grizzlies all season long, and that's what's kept him in the lineup game in and game out. As the draw, won by Idaho. So get it up top to the left point, across to Keller. Keller skates towards the right circle. He feeds it to the corner. Now back up top for Keller, who will skate towards his right now. Dish it to the right point for Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi towards the far goal line for White. Now back over towards Keller. Keller over to Kawaguchi on the left side. He'll chip it over to the near goal line for Niram. He tried to get it across, and Metcalf covers up again. As looks like Idaho twice has tried that play where they throw a guy to the far goal line, get the puck there, then try to get it across to A.J. White. It looks like the Grizzlies and Victor Bartley in particular doing a great job anticipating that play and cuts in front to make sure that that pass doesn't get through to White. So twice the Steelheads have tried that here on their power play, and the Grizzlies have sniffed it out both times. 8:33 left in the second. Utah wins the draw as it goes towards the corner. Now there's a battle. Idaho feeds it back to the left point as the Steelheads might officially get credited with the face-off win as Keller throws over to Kudla. He'll get it to the left side for Kawaguchi. Now back towards Kudla. Kudla has to reset. Grizzlies poking out to center ice. Good job by Utah. The Grizz scored a shorthanded goal last night. Idaho has outshot Utah 11-1 here in the second period. As the Grizz at neutral ice battle, Utah trying to come up with the puck. Grizzlies literally kick it into the Steelhead zone. Colton Keller gets it. He'll skate back towards the goal line. Now Keller, a dependable two-way forward, will start the attack. He'll veer off to the right, cross center ice. Keller gains the line as he skates towards the right side. He gets pushed around by McDonald. Idaho feeds it out in front. Domowski shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound, Corey Thomas gets his stick held up by Kudla. Now 2-on-2 battle in the corner. Fitz over there as well as Fitz pushes Idaho from behind. 20 seconds left in the power play. Still battling. Grizzlies will skate towards the corner. Thomas overskates it. Puck behind Utah's net. Centering pass shot on it goes wide. As Idaho late in the power play. Ducharme gets up top for Register. 5 seconds left in the power play. Now it goes to Svanenbergs. His shot is wide. Penner's out of the penalty box, and he will join the play as Idaho will back it out into their own zone as Penner shadowing Ducharme, who crosses center ice right wing, gains the line, and he gets blasted by a Grizzly. Puck ends up with Utah as they skate across. Fitz loses the puck. He regathers it, and he'll spin it around the boards as Utah. Fitz looks to center it. Idaho picks it off. Domowski gets it back over towards Fitz, who skates towards the corner. Fitz spins it around the wall. Register cuts it off in the far corner. Register with an outlet pass past Owen Hedrick. Pass is incomplete at center ice and goes all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. And icing is on the Steelheads with 6:43 left in the second period. So Idaho leads 2-0. And you think about the Steelheads power play. You know, they twice tried that play there with Niram on the far goal line, trying to feed it across to White. Grizzlies penalty kill once again did the job there. Now 20 for 21 on the penalty kill over the last 5+ games. Draws in the left circle, and it's won by Utah as the Rooster. Over to the left side, gets it up top for Bartley. Now across to McDonald. He'll take a shot that goes wide. Puck glides towards the near boards. Idaho gets it to Zane Franklin, gets it across to Hedrick, who gains the line. Hedrick skates towards the right side with McDonald shadowing him. Hedrick feeds over to the near corner as big collision as Justin Misiak holds up a Grizzly. And now the Grizzlies have the puck as Bartley will move it across. And McDonald gets it. The Grizzlies captain will lift it in the air as it bounces at neutral ice. Idaho pokes it back towards the Grizzlies bench. Mikalchuk dumps it in. As Idaho behind the net, Poirier gets over to Kanadi. About 6 minutes left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-0. They've scored 1 goal in each of the first 2 periods of play. As at center ice, Zach Walker crosses center. He'll throw a left wing pass. Idaho skates to the circle. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound to the far side as Walker skates along the goal line, tried to chip it in front, and Metcalf covers up. Kyle Pouncey doing a good job defensively. Aaron Tho as well. Time out on the ice, 5:44 left in the second. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Idaho leads 2-0 as we got 5:44 left in the second period. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. Guy, what have you noticed here in the second period?
Tyson, Idaho is very precise with their zone entries. I'd like to see the Grizzlies be a little bit more decisive in what they want to do through the neutral zone. I think if they can get things really clicking in the transition game, we could see a close game here in the third.
Another good penalty kill by the Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Grizzlies penalty kill has done fantastic throughout the course of the season, really, over the last month or so. They're really good at blocking shots and anticipating where the puck's going to go, and they're making it a hard time for Idaho to get set up.
Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Garrett Metcalf has been busy here so far as Idaho's taken the majority of the shots in the second period as they lead 2-0. Steelheads won the draw in the offensive zone as Cody Haskinen, still looking for his first goal of the season, tried to feed it across the boards, didn't get very far as Andrew Nelson shadows Zach Walker. Puck goes to neutral ice as Utah chasing after it. Steelheads with the puck as Franklin gets it across, skating in Misiak to the right side. The Michigan Tech product gets blasted behind Utah's net. Grizzlies over to the far side will chip it across. It's Andrew Nelson and Justin Misiak with a push and shove. Misiak loses a stick. Grizzlies will get it into the offensive zone as Wright feeds it across. Wright got blasted. Now Nelson with a shot saved by Poirier. Idaho clears it out. 5:04 left in the second. Looks like icing is called. Draw is going to come back towards Remy Poirier's net. As Taryn Pfizer out there along with Dakota Raby and Dylan Fitz, as they'll be on the ice when the Grizzlies take the face-off, as Misiak got blasted by Nilsson. Then Nilsson and Misiak exchanged some words, and then it looked like Misiak lost his stick and then skated towards the bench, and then Nilsson skated back towards the Grizzlies' offensive zone. Draw taken by Tyler Penner. He wins it. Raby looking for a shot, couldn't get it off as cutting in front of him was Haskinen. Utah tries to get it to Pfizer out in front. It kicks off a stick and goes to Pfizer, far side. Sharp angled shot goes wide. Puck still in play, left point. Grizzlies feed it across. Now back to Bartley. He'll get it across to McDonald in the right point. McDonald skates towards the circle. Now he veers off into the corner. Arm is raised. Nick Canotti's attacking a Grizzly. He's going after Dakota Raby as he throws a few rights. Raby in his first pro fight as Raby throws a right. Now Cannotti with a big-time right. Raby goes swinging. Oh, big-time fight by two little guys. And now Raby goes down on two knees on his backside, and Nick Cannotti will skate towards the penalty box, and so does Dakota Raby. So the two smallest guys on the ice, Cannotti for Idaho and Dakota Raby, getting a scrap. And if I remember right, that might be Dakota Raby's first professional fight. Raby looks like he's going to skate towards the bench area, though, as he gets a high five from some members of the Grizzlies as he'll skate towards the locker room. Looks like Cannotti will skate back towards the Idaho locker room as there's less than 5 minutes left in the second period. But both guys really threw some good punches at each other. Cannotti might have gotten a couple more blows in than Raby. They're going to show the replay on Flow Sports, and they just started battling in front of the net. Cannotti got the first 3 or 4 rights in, and then Raby just kind of held strong, spun around Cannotti. Cannotti got in another left, and then both guys connected on a couple rights. Raby started swinging. Raby really connected on a couple rights, and then Cannotti just kind of dragged Raby towards the ice. And so two guys who probably haven't fought all that often dropped the gloves, and both guys threw some good punches.
I love this fight from Dakota Raby. He got a few good hits in on Cannotti, but I love this from an energy perspective. The Grizzlies are down 2-0. The things really haven't gone their way offensively. This is a perfect momentum changer to really get the Grizzlies' juices flowing, and potentially we could see things start to swing the Grizzlies' way.
5 minutes for fighting. Dakota Raby for the Grizzlies and Nick Cannotti for Idaho. As looks like they're scraping off the ice right there with 4:41 left in the second. Idaho has outshot Utah 13-2 in the second period, and for the contest, Idaho has 28 shots to the Grizzlies' 12. Both teams are 0 for 1 on the power play. For the Grizzlies, in their shot count, Victor Bartley and Andrew Nilsson are tied for the club lead with 2 shots each. The draw is going to be in the left circle. Tyler Penner will take it. He's got Christian Simeone to his left, and I think Taryn Pfizer to his right. Bartley's up top with Connor McDonald. As the draw won by, actually the draw goes lifting high into the air to the left point. Bartley gets pushed out of the zone by Willie Nerum. Now Idaho nudges it ahead. Jack Becker skates towards the left circle, now towards the middle. Takes a shot, saved by Metcalf. And now there's some pushing and shoving as the Grizzlies thought Becker got pretty close to Metcalf while he was taking the shot. And Bartley's over there along with Penner and McDonald. Simeone and Pfizer looking as well. As looks like action's starting to heat up. 5 minutes for fighting, and then Becker skated in around McDonald. And then Becker kind of stopped right towards Metcalf's ankles. And the Grizzlies, doesn't look like there was much there, just both teams trying to win that real estate out in front of the net. And Garrett Metcalf's done a good job. He's been very busy tonight. He has now stopped 27 of 29. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Christian Simeone talking it over with Corey Thomas, as well as Taryn Pfizer. As the draw's in the left circle, Jade Miller will take it for Idaho. Tyler Penner for Utah. Miller wins the draw as he'll skate towards the corner. Penner shadowing him. As Miller over towards the circle. And now Idaho. Jack Becker gets hit. Willie Nerum joins the play. Becker gets held up along the far boards. Nerum pushes Utah, but the puck squirts out to Utah. Taryn Pfizer crosses center ice. He'll gain the line. He's near Simeone. Pfizer skates towards the right corner, gets to Simeone past the goal line. And skating over is Penner, who pokes it back towards the far boards. Jack Becker gets it. He'll tap it off the glass out to center ice. Utah delivers a hit. Miller in the area. The whistle blows. 3:53 left in the second. Miller and Corey Thomas, they were in training camp together with the Steelheads. And away from the whistle, Willie Nerum going at it with Aaron Tho. So Tho having some words with Nerum as both guys hold each other by the jersey. Now Tho gets in a right with his glove as the two linesmen try to separate them. As Nerum will skate towards his bench, and Tho will skate, looks like, towards the penalty box. Tho can't believe it. Tho usually has a 5 o'clock shadow when he plays, and looks like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow going right now. Guy and I are sporting beards. Tho will skate towards the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. He's not sure why, as he's exchanging some words with either the referee or Willie Nerum. 3:53 left in the second. Dominic Cadieux, the referee here this weekend, talking it over with both teams' captains, Connor McDonald for Utah and Matt Register for Idaho, even though A.J. White's the one wearing the C on the front of his Idaho jersey. Members of both teams in the box, looks like Nerum for Idaho and Aaron Tho for Utah. Idaho leads 2-0, and it's possible we'll skate 4-on-4, and it'll be interesting if they do, or maybe the Grizzlies will be on the power play. I'm not sure, as Becker threw it out to center ice. Miller got hit pretty hard by Corey Thomas, but it was away from the puck where Nerum was battling with Aaron Tho near the Grizzlies bench. As the linesman separated them, neither guy dropped the gloves. As looks like Grizzlies defenseman looking over the play as they show a replay. Looks like out of this thing, the Grizzlies are going to get a 2-minute power play. 3:53 left in the second. Utah is going to be on the power play for 2 minutes. So draw is going to be in the Steelhead zone. Idaho leads 2-0, but it's going to be a big-time power play for the Grizzlies here late in the second period. Can they find a way to capitalize and get on the board? Utah wins the draw. Andrew Nelson, right point, feeds it to the far goal line. The Grizzlies trying to get it across to right. Now they feed it across. Now looking for the middle for Martell. Gets poked back to the far corner. Now up top to Pfizer. He switches places on the ice with Nilsson. Pfizer will tap it off the skate of an Idaho Steelhead, and it goes back to neutral ice. Pfizer back to Nilsson. 3.5 minutes left in the second period, and 25 seconds into the Grizzlies power play. Pfizer skates down the middle, gains the line, skates towards the right circle, being shadowed by Register. Pfizer stops in the corner, gets it up top, but it exits the zone as Nilsson will chase back into his own end to get it. Nilsson gains neutral ice. He'll drop it off. Utah crosses center. Right, feeds it across to Martell. Now back to Nilsson. He'll skate towards the left point. Nilsson over to Martell just outside the left circle. He'll get it across to Pfizer. He'll skate towards the right circle. He fakes a shot. Pfizer keeps the puck halfway through the power play. He'll switch places on the ice with Nilsson. Pfizer over to Nilsson. One-timer. And a glove save by Poirier. Poirier made the save over his head. The shot probably would have gone wide had he not made the save, but he holds on. 56 seconds left in the power play and 2:49 left in the second period. And good play set up by the Grizzlies. Pfizer feeding Nilsson, and he's one of those guys, Andrew Nilsson, who's got a wicked one-timer. You think about who might have the hardest shot on the Grizzlies club, might be Andrew Nilsson with the rocket that he's able to provide. As the Grizzlies make a line change, so too the Steelheads. Michalczyk's on the left wing. Watch out for him, as it feels like he's due for a goal, and he had an assist in the second period on the power play last night. As the draw, won by Dylan Fitz and the Grizzlies, over to the left side for Bartley. Bartley gets it across to Shearer. Back to the right circle. Grizzlies get it back up top for Shearer. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to Idaho in the far corner, and the Steelheads will clear it out. Remember, Shearer scored his first goal of the season on the power play late in the second period last night. 30 seconds left in the Grizzlies' second power play of the game as Shearer feeds it out to center ice. Idaho gets it. Hedrick at neutral ice will throw it back into his own zone for Kudla, who will clear it all the way out towards Garrett Metcalf. Grizzlies back deep in their own zone, skating from right to left. 15 seconds left in the power play. McCallchuck gets over to the left side for Shearer, who skates towards the corner. Now he spins it around to the right side. Nobody was home as the Grizzlies back at their blue line. Late in the power play, they'll still be in their own zone after delivering a pass. Now the Grizzlies cross center. Cam Strong will enter the zone as Jade Miller's out of the penalty box. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. Idaho still leads 2-0. Grizzlies whip it back towards the near wall. Left point. Utah off the screen will feed it to the near corner. Poirier behind his net will play as the puck glided towards the far side. He'll spin it towards the far wing boards. And it looks like it's going to be icing on Idaho with 1 minute and 31 seconds left in the second period. Well, the Grizzlies had the power play there. And really the best look was probably by Nilsson there as Idaho did a good job of clogging up the middle.
Yeah, Tyson, you talked about Andrew Nielsen earlier, and it seems like the power play runs through him. He's got a lot of power play assists, and he seems to be the guy you mentioned, his wicked one-timer. If the power play is going to succeed, Andrew Nielsen is going to be a key part of it.
Draws in the right circle of the Steelhead zone. Utah wins the draw as Pfizer feeds it to the right side. Grizzlies whip it around the boards. It gets cut off in the near corner as Idaho takes it away. Steelheads fall down, trying to clear it out. No call made as the Grizzlies have the puck at center ice as Simeone will feed it back into his own zone. As the Grizzlies nudge it ahead, Pfizer gets hit. As Simeone gets the puck back near the Grizzlies bench, and he'll whip it back in. Poirier behind his net cuts it off as the Steelheads spin it to the far side. Looks like the ice surface playing a little bit slower here in the second period. Big hit at center ice. Utah pokes it away as it goes into the Steelhead zone. Hedrick gets it out in the slot. Hedrick will veer over to the near corner. He'll get it across to Kudla as we got less than 50 seconds left in the second period. Idaho crosses center ice, and they'll dump it in, does Jade Miller. As Metcalf around the net, spins it back towards Simeone. It pokes off of his stick, and Keller will feed it back to the Idaho blue line. Everybody stops skating with 36.6 seconds left in the second. Colton Keller gets spotlighted by the camera here on Flow Sports. I wonder what happened there. It might have been an offside. Puck exited the zone, then re-entered or something. The draw is going to be near Idaho's bench. They lead 2-0 as Jonas Vandenberg scored 5-11 into the first period. And then Willie Nerum made it a 2-0 game as he scored from really a very tough angle. It was one of those impressive shots, and Metcalf really did a good job closing up the front end. But Nerum was able to just squeak it past him as he went top shelf on him. And that's Idaho's second goal, and that's really where we stand right now. Draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. 36 seconds left. As Grizzlies do have 5 on the ice, so we're skating 5-on-5. A.J. White will take the draw against Keaton Jamison. Face off on the right side. Waiting for the linesman to drop the puck. Scott DeBaud does not have dinner plans. As a draw won by the Grizzlies as James Shearer gets it. He'll lift it out to center ice and into the Steelhead zone. Utah chasing after it. Idaho gathers it as Matt Register will tap it off the near boards. It goes back to neutral ice. Grizzlies have it. They'll feed it out to the right wing for center ice. That pass is wide as the Steelheads will ricochet it off the near boards. It goes out to neutral ice. Grizzlies nudge it across. Fitz chases after it, but Haskinen gets there first. About 10 seconds left in the second period as the Steelheads looked like the puck exited the zone, and then Utah carried it back in. Offside is a call. 9.2 seconds left in the second as the draw is going to be at neutral ice. It looks like, barring something really strange happen, we'll have a 2-0 game after 2 periods. Keaton Jamison will take the draw. And it's won by Idaho. 4 seconds left in the period. Steelheads throw it out to center ice. And that will do it for 2 periods over at Idaho Central Arena as Willie Nerum scored early in the second. And then now we got some real pushing and shoving after the whistle. James Shearer, Keaton Jamison over there, as looked like a Steelhead wanted to go after Cameron Wright, as Haskinen with a bear hug for James Shearer. And it looks like the Steelheads still want to go after Cameron Wright. Corey Thomas over there, so is Aaron Tho. Tho gets pushed by Register. A.J. White has a Grizzly and a bear hug. Remy Poirier just kind of looking things over at neutral ice. Keller gets separated by the linesman. And it looks like both teams will cease and desist and head to their respective locker rooms. Poirier and Metcalf talk it over at center ice. It's been an interesting night tonight. Metcalf pats Poirier on the side, as both goaltenders have had a good game. Idaho leads 2-0 after 2. And when we come back, we'll have the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report as the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-0. And it was an interesting fight between Nick Canati and Dakota Raby. We'll break that down and also talk about the upcoming homestand for the Grizzlies and the 4 games that the Grizzlies have at Maverick Center in the month of January. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report starts in 2 minutes on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Siegfried and Jensen intermission report as Idaho leads 2-0. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. We're hanging out in the lobby of Maverick Center, as the only goal scored in the second period was Willie Nerum, unassisted, getting his 6th of the year. It was 1:11 into the second. And I don't know how he did it, Guy, because Nerum picked off a Utah pass there, trying to nudge it, out of the zone. Nerum picked it off from the right wing, skated towards the goal line. He got pretty close to the goal line to where I'm thinking it was, just about an impossible angle. Garrett Metcalf it looked like he closed up the front side pretty good. And then Nerum, I don't know which shoulder he just fired it over, but he just kind of, in a really tough angle, just kind of fired it over Metcalf. And I don't know if he asked Willie Nerum to do it again, if he would have been able to do it, but he did it that one time, and Idaho led 2-0, and really that's where we stand right now.
I'm not too sure how that puck found its way into the back of the net. It seemed to have eyes and just went over the left shoulder of Metcalf. My best guess, sorcery, witchcraft, one or the other. Really just it was just a great shot by Nerum. You got to give credit when credit is due, and that thing was a laser and found its way into the back of the net.
I think Garrett's had a pretty good game. He has stopped 26 of 28. The Svanenberg's first period goal was just kind of an odd-looking shot where Svanenberg just kind of glided it across the ice and kind of made a nice shot on Metcalf, and it went under him. And then, with Nerum, it was that tough angle. And otherwise, it's been one of those games where I think for the Grizzlies, you'd like to find a way to generate a few more scoring chances. Utah's got 14 shots through 2 periods. Idaho has taken 28. As the Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 13-4 in the second period. Utah's 0 for 2 on the power play. Idaho is 0 for 1. It looks like Cameron Wright and Matt Register each got matching roughing minors 20 minutes into the second period. So both guys will start the third period in the penalty box. In terms of the penalties, Tyler Penner got a hooking minor, 10:44 in, Dakota Raby and Nick Canati each got a fighting major, 15-19 in. And you talk about maybe the two smallest guys on the ice, Raby for the Grizzlies and Canati for Idaho. Both guys really threw some good punches at each other. Canati might have gotten, a few more in as he probably got the first 4 or 5 in, but Raby was able to hold strong and just kind of wailed away on Canati as well.
Yeah, Tyson, I don't think anybody really had Canati and Raby fighting on the bingo card for tonight, but hey, it happened, and a fight's a fight, and it was a fantastic one. I got to give credit to Dakota Raby for hanging in there. He got a few good swings in on Canati. Canati eventually got Raby down to his knees, but I really liked the energy and the fight from Dakota Raby. I mentioned it before earlier. That's one of those plays that could maybe turn the tide in the game, give the Grizzlies some momentum, and get something going offensively.
16:07 into the second period. Aaron Tho and Willie Nerum got matching roughing minors, but the Grizzlies had a power play. According to the box score, Jade Miller got 2 minutes for a closing hand on puck. So you got a 2-minute penalty for that. And so the Grizzlies got their second power play of the game. Nilsson had that look there from the right side. The shot would have gone wide, but Poirier kind of made the save over his head. Really otherwise, Idaho has done a good job kind of controlling the action. I think for the Grizzlies, I think heading into the third period, especially with Idaho trying to nurse a lead, I think the question is, can they find a way to generate puck possession and in turn see if they can find a way to generate some goals to get back in this game?
Yeah, Tyson, I think the key, and you mentioned before, is possession. The Grizzlies have not really had a lot of possession in this game, and it shows on the shot count. I mean, Idaho's got 28, Utah's got 14. They're doubled up on them. But I think the glaringly obvious issue is that Utah only had 4 shots in the second period. Idaho did a pretty good job of shutting them down in the neutral zone. The Grizzlies didn't really have a lot of chances in the offensive zone. I think the first 5 minutes of this third period are going to be crucial for the Grizzlies. And I said that going into the second period, but now it becomes even more imperative that the Grizzlies come out with a bit of fire. And I say that because you look at the Idaho goals, they were scored within like the first 5 minutes or so in each period. The Grizzlies need to come out and they need to push on the attack and really get the Steelheads on their heels instead of maybe falling back into a three-goal deficit here.
Some other games have gone final in the league. Looks like every game other than the Grizzlies one has gone final. Allen defeats Wichita 3-2. How about Tulsa? They overcome a 3-0 deficit. Tulsa scores 4 unanswered and gets a 4-3 victory. The deciding goal was scored in overtime by Eddie Matsushima, who's going to the All-Star game. He picks up his 17th goal of the season. Tulsa wins 4-3 in overtime over Rapid City. It was also a 4-3 final as Kansas City defeats Iowa. Fort Wayne over Toledo 7-4. In overtime, Cincinnati defeats Wheeling 4-3. Greenville over Savannah 2-1. That game finished in overtime. Former Grizzly Miles Gendron, who was with the club the last 2 years, signed with Greenville, and he made his Swamp Rabbits debut. Didn't register any stats, but he played for Greenville as he started the season in Norway and just signed recently with Greenville, and he made his Swamp Rabbits debut tonight. Jacksonville over Atlanta 5-4. Indy over Kalamazoo 3-2. Florida defeats South Carolina 4-2. Maine over Norfolk 6-3. Newfoundland over Worcester 6-4. Reading defeats Adirondack 3-1, and Orlando over Trois-Rivières 4-2. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, we got a surprise for you. As when we come back, we will don the jersey that the Grizzlies are going to be wearing on Monday, the SpongeBob SquarePants jersey. You'll get a first look of it right here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report rolls along on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Second intermission over at Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-0. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. And Guy has got one of the SpongeBob SquarePants themed jerseys that the Grizzlies are going to be wearing on Monday. And if you're watching on YouTube, Guy is holding up the jersey right now. And that's what it looks like. It's got SpongeBob. You got Patrick on the left side. In fact, the voice of Patrick is the same guy that was a star of the TV show Coach. That's Dauber. And it looks like there's another SpongeBob character to the right, to the left of SpongeBob, more on the right side of the, or is that the left side of the jersey? Because you got, I think that's
the left side.
I think that's the squirrel. Then you got SpongeBob and Patrick, and you got the Grizzlies logo there. Hold the thing down a little bit to see the shoulder. The shoulder looks like it's kind of a yellowish SpongeBob color. And the back of the jersey, we got Trent Miner's jersey right now, and that's what it looks like. Kind of a sharp look. In the back of the jersey, right there on the bottom, you got Squidward. I always thought that had the personality of Squidward, just kind of a guy who's always angry all the time. Always just kind of a bit grumpy. And that's the numbers there the Grizzlies are wearing. It does look like a sharp jersey, and the Grizzlies are going to be wearing that on Monday afternoon. You can, we'll give you details Monday, obviously, as to where you can purchase those game-worn jerseys on the auction. That's the game-worn jersey. That's what the Grizzlies are going to be wearing on Monday, the SpongeBob SquarePants themed jersey, and it does look sharp.
I think it looks pretty good.
I think the goalie jerseys are good to get if you're a bigger person because they do look like they're a little bit more snug, but it's a sharp-looking jersey that the Grizzlies are wearing. That's actually not the squirrel. I'm not sure what that is. That's next to Patrick.
I have no idea. I've never actually seen this show, but I do know this guy, SpongeBob. He's in the show. He's the main. He's the main character.
That's Patrick.
If you like SpongeBob, go watch the show. He's in it. But
if you like SpongeBob, this is the perfect jersey for you.
I mean, maybe you got a kid that really likes SpongeBob, or maybe you like SpongeBob yourself. This is the perfect jersey to pick up. Really, it's really clean, and I love it. I love it for a few reasons. One, it's got a lot of good colors, but two, got nice contrast between the numbers and the base, and that makes it really easy for us to tell what's going on out there.
I really like the jerseys the Grizzlies are wearing this weekend, but for some reason they're not really popping on the TV screen quite like I would like. But it's going to be a lot of fun with the 4 home games the Grizzlies have in January, because not only is it Nickelodeon night, but it's Sensory Friendly Day. And, the sound's going to be turned down a little bit, and it will be a fun atmosphere for hockey on Monday. And then remember, the Grizzlies later on in the week, next week will be in Tulsa next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday is going to be a 3:00 start. Friday and Saturday will be at 6:05 in the Mountain Time Zone. And then the Rapid City Rush will be in town for a 3-game set. On Wednesday, January 25th, it's a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. Friday, January 27th is the next AFCU Friday, where tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And the ever-popular Guns N' Hoses night is going to be on Saturday, January 28th. There's going to be 2 charity games, one at 1:30 and another at about 2:30. The first charity game is going to be at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock sharp. And then the second charity game is going to be at 2:30 or around there. It might start a little bit later depending on how long that first game goes. And then the Grizzlies will play the Rush at 7 o'clock. It's one of the best atmospheres all year, all year. You think about, big crowd at Maverick Center. Remember, if you get a ticket to the Grizzlies game, then you can also get in for the 2 charity games. And if you're thinking about just going to the charity games, you can do that as well. But you also have a ticket to the Grizzlies game at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies and the Rapid City Rush meeting in a 3-game series. And so, Guy, we got a lot of fun stuff happening at Maverick Center in the month of January.
Oh, I mean, that's an understatement. I feel like we're going to have a great time here at the Maverick Center here in the next couple of weeks. I mean, you got the SpongeBob jerseys against the Steelheads on the 16th, and then Grizzlies are away for a little bit in Tulsa, and then they come back. We got a 6-game homestand. You got Guns N' Hoses included with that. Rapid City Rush coming into town, and those Rush games last week, those were fantastic. Those were a lot of fun. And then you get the Allen Americans coming into town, and so a lot of fun coming up here on the schedule.
Allen will be in town February 1st, 3rd, and 4th. All 3 nights will be 7-10 face-offs. It's going to be interesting to see Allen at Maverick Center for the first time this season. And I might just whip out my Tommy Daniels bobblehead that I got last week and put that on the table. Tommy Daniels, the longtime Allen Americans broadcaster who just recently passed 1,000 games as voice of the Allen Americans. Let's see the NFL playoff scores. There's 2 games in Super Wild Card weekend as the 49ers defeat the Seahawks 41-23. That's an NFC wild card game as the Niners advance to the divisional round. Brock Purdy had 3 touchdown passes. Christian McCaffrey, 119 rushing yards. Geno Smith had 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception for the Seahawks in the loss. And the game going on right now, halfway through the 4th quarter, Chargers lead the Jaguars 30-20 as it's been a tough day for Trevor Lawrence. He threw 4 interceptions in the first half. However, Trevor Lawrence also has 3 touchdown passes, so he's hanging in there. Chargers lead by 10, 30-20. That game halfway through the 4th quarter. The Jaguars are the 4 seed in the AFC, while the Chargers are the 5th seed, even though the Chargers have a better record than the Jaguars. But obviously, if you win your division, no matter how pathetic the division is, you get a home playoff game, and that's what the Jaguars have right now. Guy, any thoughts about the NFL playoffs and who you think's going to the Super Bowl?
I think it's funny that you mentioned the Jaguars division being bad, but it's because it seems like nobody really looks about that. They just think about how bad the NFC South is. But I really like the year that the Buffalo Bills have had. I said it in the preseason, and I thought that they were going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to stick with that, and I think they're going to go out, and I think they're going to win one for DeMar.
They're going to win one for DeMar, so the Bills are going to be the Super Bowl representative in the AFC. What about the NFC?
I had the Niners and the Bills. I think San Francisco's offense just looks really good right now. And until Brock Purdy comes out and has a bad game, I think it's the 49ers conference to lose.
That was Chris Berman's Super Bowl pick for about a decade plus when the Bills and Niners are both good in the 1990s. As for me, I do like the Niners as a pick, although I would watch out for the Eagles. You know, the Eagles having the bye week, Jalen Hurts. The Eagles really stumbled a little bit towards the end of the regular season, but I just think they're the most complete team right now. But the 49ers are tough, and really the key is Brock Purdy. If Purdy can handle himself, and he did a good job here today, I think the Niners could end up being the Super Bowl team. I got Eagles and Niners in the NFC Championship game. I might agree with you. I might say Niners in the AFC. However, I think that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the AFC representative. It's going to be a Niners and Chiefs Super Bowl, just like we had a few years ago.
Hey, that's not a bad pick. Chiefs are rolling right now. But I'll say this. In the NFC, watch out for the Giants. They're not the flashiest team to watch, and on paper, they don't wow you. But it seems like whenever these guys make the playoffs, they just go on some remarkable run. And I think that might be what we're seeing right now. It's like just from the ashes into the frying pan. Here come the Giants. Watch out for them. I got them going to the NFC Championship game.
Really, the Giants of all teams?
The Giants. When you least expect it, there they come. The New York Giants. Give me the G-men.
All right, guys, got the Giants going to the NFC Championship game. We'll see about that. They take on the Vikings tomorrow. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have third period action over at Idaho Central Arena as the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-0. We'll have third period action when we come back on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to Grizzlies Hockey. We're about set to start third period action as the Grizzlies trail 2-0 as Idaho has outshot Utah 28-14. And I think it's going to be an interesting third period as Cameron Wright and Matt Register each in the penalty box. Both guys got matching roughing minors at the very end of the second period. A.J. White, the Steelheads captain, had 2 goals last night. Patrick Cutler has been one of the best defensemen in the league. Looks like 2 guys are in the box for Idaho here to start the second period, as Nick Canati still serving as fighting major. Dakota Raby also serving the end of his fighting major, and Cameron Wright are in the box for Utah. The second-year head coach Ryan Kanasowicz talking with his team as Taryn Pfizer and Tyler Penner will each be on the ice to start the third period. Everybody dancing around, having a good time over at Idaho Central Arena, as it's the second of 3 straight meetings between these clubs. It's already the 14th time these teams have met this season. 14 of the 33 Grizzlies games have been against the Idaho Steelheads. You talk about the percentage of that. I did the math, and that is 40.6% of the Grizzlies games this season have been against the Steelheads. The draws at center ice. Utah is on the power play for 2 minutes as the Grizz have the puck deep in their own zone. Andrew Nilsson back behind Metcalf's net as the Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the third period, as Nilsson will now start the attack. He'll throw a near side pass to Taryn Pfizer across the center ice. Pfizer gains the line, takes a shot, and it goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Poirier. Now to the right side, Penner gets it back to Pfizer on the left side. Pfizer has 9 goals this season, which is time for the club lead. He tries to feed it to the corner. Idaho gets it out to center ice. They carry it across the red line. Now Idaho 2-on-3 gets it across the left side for White. I tried to feather it across to Kawaguchi. Passes wide of the mark as Pfizer ahead to Penner, who skates towards the right circle. Penner with a shot. Kick saved by Poirier. Rebound goes out to neutral ice and into the Grizzlies zone as Utah will backpedal. Now they feed it to James Shearer, who skates down the middle. Shearer across the center ice, tried to dump it in. It glanced off a Steelhead stick. Owen Hedrick will bounce it off the near boards. McDonald tried to cut it off, but Idaho will cross center ice. 1 minute into the third period. Utah's on the power play for another 53 seconds. As the Grizzlies toss it across, Utah will chip it across center ice. Now they feed it back as Connor McDonald skates over the line. He veers off to the right side, skates to the circle. Shot saved by Poirier. Rebound. Grizzlies couldn't get a shot off as they carry it over to the corner. As the Grizz towards the corner as Penner overskates it. Now it goes back to Dylan Fitz to the right side. He'll feed it back up top as the Grizzlies. James Shearer, shot saved by Poirier. As we've got 20 seconds left in the power play for Utah. Grizz trying to get it across to McDonald, and they do to the right side. Connor with a shot that goes wide as Colton Keller will drop it back deeper into the Steelhead zone. Less than 10 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. As Idaho will now start their attack from right to left. The power play is over for Utah as Idaho crosses center ice as Domowski feeds it to the right corner. Skating over there is Corey Thomas. He'll throw it through his legs. Now the Grizzlies will carry it to center ice, 3-on-3. Utah with a left wing pass. It goes wide as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Idaho spins it along the near wall. Goes out to center ice. Grizzlies gather it. Corey Thomas will nudge it ahead. Idaho picks it off. They skate into the right side. They look for Misiak. Grizzlies poke it back to the far corner. As Idaho surveys along the far side, as Misiak will try to get to Zane Franklin. Pass didn't connect. Utah clears it out. Matt Register will skate deep into the Steelhead zone. Arm is raised by the linesman, and icing is called on the Grizzlies with 17 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third period. Draw comes back towards Garrett Metcalf, who saw 28 shots in the first 2 periods, stopping 26 of them. Idaho's Nick Canati and Utah's Dakota Raby is now out of the penalty box after serving their fighting majors. As Cam Strong will take the draw, Jordan Martell and Vladislav Mikalchuk also on the ice for Utah. As the Grizz are now 0 for 3 on the power play. As Idaho's 0 for 1. Idaho wins the draw. They skate towards the right circle. Still heads around the net. Utah trips them up. And a penalty is going to be called. Grizzlies touch up the puck. No, they don't. As Register, left side, shot goes wide. As Utah trying to touch up the puck. Now the whistle blows. 17:04 left in the third period. As Utah tripped up Idaho behind the net. As they head to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 17:04 left in the third. As the puck ended up behind Utah's net. Then the Grizzlies tripped him up. And it looked like it was Tyler Penner. Or maybe it was Aaron Tho that tripped up Idaho. Register then took a shot that went wide. So Idaho's going to be on the power play with a 2-goal lead. And it does look like Corey Thomas might be the one in the box for the Grizzlies. First power play for Idaho in the third period. The draw is going to be in the left circle. And it's won by Idaho as Kudla gets it across. Steelheads get it back up top for Kudla. They'll feed it to the left side for Kawaguchi. Now to the far goal line, back to Kawaguchi. He'll chip it towards Nira. Back to Kawaguchi. They'll get it across as Idaho. Zane Franklin over to the far corner. Now back to Franklin. He's in the right point. Now up top for Kudla as he'll get it to Kawaguchi on the left side. He'll chip it towards the near goal line for Nira. I tried to feather it across, and it goes past A.J. White and out to center as Idaho will reset. Steelheads to the right side will regain the line and dump it into the corner. Grizzlies whip it around the boards. A.J. White couldn't cut it off in the left point as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. As Patrick Kudla towards the near corner collides with a Grizzly, it goes to Kawaguchi. He'll get it across as Idaho now crosses center ice and dumps it in. Utah chasing after it as big-time hit. Colton Keller delivered it as halfway through the Idaho power play, A.J. White gets it across to Kawaguchi. That pass is wide. Kudla feeds it around the boards behind Utah's net. Idaho chips it across as Kawaguchi on the left side gets it to Kudla. Now across the right side for Keller. He takes a shot and he goes over the head of Metcalf. It stays in play. Kawaguchi towards the end wall. Now back to Kawaguchi. 40 seconds left in the power play as Kawaguchi skates around the goal line. Now he feeds it across to the right side as now Hedrick, left side shot save, rebound shot, and Idaho looking for it. Willie Nira couldn't get the shot off. Now the Grizzlies get it in the near circle, and Taron Pfizer will backhand it out of the zone. Good job by the Grizzlies. Penalty kill, outlet pass all the way out, and Idaho couldn't connect on it, so icing is on the Steelheads. 20 seconds left in the Idaho power play. 15-24 left in regulation as the Steelheads lead 2-0. And Guy, even though it looked like the Steelheads had the puck in the offensive zone for quite a bit, Grizzlies were able to keep them off the score sheet.
Yeah, the Grizzlies have done a pretty good job defensively, I think, of this game. They're really good at predicting where the puck is going to go. If they can take that and maybe go the other way and get something going in the transition game, this game could be very, very close and come down to the wire.
Probably because it's the 14th meeting between these clubs. They're very familiar with each other. 41% of the Grizzlies games this season have been against Idaho. As Idaho wins the draw, they cross center ice, and they'll dump it around the wall as Utah cuts it off on the near side. Couldn't clear it out. Idaho, late in the power play, 5 seconds left as Register over to Hedrick. Guy tried to center it, and it bounced off a Grizzly skate. Now Register back to Hedrick. Now back up top for Register. He'll have the puck exit the zone. As Corey Thomas is out of the penalty box, he'll skate towards the bench. As Michalczyk out in the ice, he gets the puck at center. He'll veer off to the right as he steps over the line, fakes a shot, skates towards the corner. Register pokes it away. Now Register holds up Michalczyk as another Grizzly skates over there, and it's the Rooster, but Idaho feeds it across. Steelheads carry it across center ice. They don't have numbers. Grizzlies got back. Idaho tried to dump it in. It bounced off a Grizzly, and I think that's sure. Now Utah to the left side, skates towards the corner as Strong gets it, and he'll nudge it back up top. Now Shearer will roll it around the boards. Ice surface playing a little bit slower today. This goes towards the far side. Now to the far circle. Idaho will get it out to the far side. Now they cross center ice, 2-on-2. As Misiak drops it off for Keller. Make that Franklin. It will skate towards the corner. Franklin normally number 37, but he's wearing number 21 today. As Idaho skates towards the corner, Heiskanen gets his stick held up. Heiskanen breaks free, gets over to Franklin on the other side. Now centers it to Misiak, who takes a shot that's blocked. Now Kanadi fans on it, and the puck ends up with Misiak. He'll skate towards the left corner. Misiak being shadowed by Nielsen. He'll throw it to the high slot for Kanadi. Kanadi will skate towards the left circle. He's a goal and an assist away from a Gordie Howe hat trick. He skates to the right circle, takes a shot, saved by Metcalf, and Garrett holds on. 13:39 left in the third period. Timeout on the ice. We're back in 1 minute. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies nothing on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. and I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 2-0 as Remy Poirier right now has a 17-save shutout going. It's always the home broadcast. It's always the broadcaster, the goaltender that you've got a shutout in where you can jinx it. There's nothing I can do about Poirier. But if Utah goaltender's got a shutout in, then I have to be careful with my words in the third period. Utah has outshot Idaho 3-1 in the third period, but Idaho still leads 29-17. Draws in the Grizzly zone in the far circle, as Giannis Vandenberg scored 5-11 into the contest, and Willie Nerum 1-11 into the second period. Idaho wins the draw, starting pass shot, and it looked like Miller had scored. Metcalf kicks the net open, and so it's 2-0. They might look at it. It's looked like a very similar play to how A.J. White scored in the second period, as Idaho won the draw and immediately put pressure as Idaho centered it over to Becker, and then Miller scored, but Metcalf kicked the net open. Now, the question is, this is a very similar play to what we had in the second period last night. I wonder if they'll look at it on video replay. No, they won't. Stays a 2-0 game. No goal for Idaho. As a draw on the right side is won by Utah. The Grizz will spin it towards the near boards. Utah, puck still in the corner as 2-on-2 battle as Idaho. Jade Miller has it go past him. The Grizzlies will clear it out to center. Utah with it as they'll cross center ice. Penner dumps it in. They'll chase after it. Fitz collides with the Steelhead behind Idaho's net as it goes towards the right corner. As Utah will feed it back towards Fitz, who gets blasted. Now Utah will throw it back to the right point as the Grizzlies take a shot that bounces off the end boards. Utah gets tripped up, no call. Goes back to the Grizz. Aaron Tho makes a nice spin move. Right side shot. And it's blocked before it gets to Poirier. Idaho clears it out to center where the Grizzlies will reset. Utah around center ice, skates towards their right. As Utah gets knocked down as they're entering the offensive zone. As Domowski throws it out to center ice, regathered by Shearer. He'll nudge it ahead to Fitz, who enters from the left side. Fitz will take a shot on it, goes blocked and goes wide as it rolls towards the right corner. As Idaho, skating from right to left here in the third period, will nudge it ahead. Domowski crosses center ice as he gets around Nielsen. Domowski dumps it in. Metcalf behind his net. Will feed it towards the far side. Now the puck's still in play. Glanced off a skate. As the Grizzlies will chip it ahead to Pfizer, who crosses center ice. Pfizer gains the line. He skates towards the right circle. Takes a shot. Saved by Poirier, who bobbled it for a second, but then covers up with 12:05 left in the third. So the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. As Pfizer, utilizing good quickness, skated towards the right circle. Took a shot. Poirier gathered it for a second, then bobbled it. Just kind of landed in front of him where he covered up. So Poirier, who got a 18-save shutout against the Grizzlies on December 23rd, right now is pitching a shutout as Idaho leads 2-0. Draw won by the Grizzlies is Andrew Nilsson in the right point. Nudges ahead, but the puck exits the zone. Penner gets it, or make that Raby, gets pushed, and now Owen Hedrick gathers it. He'll skate back into his own end. Hedrick along the near side will get around a Grizzly. Hedrick crosses center ice. He's got more than a point a game this season. He'll roll it along the wall. Metcalf behind the net, chips it back to the near side for Nilsson. Andrew will ricochet it off the near wall. This goes back towards Pfizer, who gets around a skater. Pfizer trying to get Raby on the right side. He gets poked back to Pfizer. Pfizer skates towards the center ice logo. He'll dump it in as the Grizzlies make a line change as Poirier plays it behind his net. As Michalczyk's out there along with Strong and the Rooster Martell. Strong in front of Poirier as the puck is behind Idaho's net, where Owen Hedrick will station himself. Utah's outshot Idaho 4-3 in the third period as Hedrick throws it to the far side. The Steelheads will ricochet out to center ice. Zach Walker with a big-time hit on Utah. Oh, he just blasted Michalczyk. Michalczyk's hurt. He is injured. Somebody's got to go after Zach Walker, and you bet we got to fight. Grizzlies start swinging on Zach Walker as Utah connects on a right. Now it's Cam Strong. Strong with two rights on Walker. Now Strong drags down Zach Walker. Zach Walker with a big-time hit on Michalczyk. And Cam Strong, somebody for the Grizzlies had to go after Walker as Michalczyk is in some serious pain as he's being looked at by Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer. So Walker skates to the penalty box, and so does Cam Strong. As that was about as big time, that was about as huge of a hit as you'll find at center ice. And Michalchuk is in some he's in some big time pain as Walker just blasted him as Michalchuk was trying to skate to center ice. And so Zach Walker's in the box, and you knew somebody had to go after Zach Walker. There's just no way you let a hit like that go without somebody protecting your teammates. Michalchuk just got hit by Walker just lit him up. And Cam Strong skated towards Walker. Walker pushed Strong, and you knew they had to fight. And so looked like the fight kind of started. They were wrestling for a couple seconds, and then Strong got a couple rights in, and then Walker got 3 strong rights in, and then Cam Strong was able to get a punch in and then drag down Walker. I think that might be the first fight for Cam Strong in a Grizzlies uniform, as Michalchuk is still on the ice. And boy, I don't know what part. It might be more upper body than lower body, as he is in some real pain. As Nielsen and McDonald, Simeone and Bartley are on the ice looking for him, as it looks like a big injury, unfortunately for Vladislav Michalchuk. As the puck ended up bouncing off the near boards, Michalchuk got the puck, and then he tapped it off the boards himself, and then that's when Walker blasted him. And so Walker skated towards the Steelhead zone because that's where the puck ended up, and then Cam Strong went after Walker. It looked like Strong just kind of glided towards him a little bit, waited for Walker in front of the net, and then they met, and then they fought. And boy, for the Grizzlies, you hate to see that because Michalchuk, who's still on the ice, just got blasted by Walker right there. But you like to see Cam Strong protecting his teammate like that.
Yeah, that's not something you ever want to see is Michalchuk or any player for that matter going down. Hopefully it's not as serious of an injury as it looks, as he's in some serious pain right now. But good on Cam Strong for sticking up for his teammate. You mentioned somebody had to go after Walker, and ended up being Cam Strong. So good on him for that. I'm not entirely sure where the point of contact on that hit was on Michalchuk. Initially, I thought it might have hit him up high, but now I'm thinking more maybe around his midsection. As he's not really holding his head, it looks like the training staff is attending more to the mid range. So that's something to keep an eye on here.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it's hard to say where the injury is because it looks like it's more body than not necessarily upper, not necessarily lower, but just full body. Now, do the Grizzlies get a power play out of this? You got the 5 for fighting, but Walker, does he get a penalty for the hit? I think the Grizzlies want that. It's 2-0 Idaho right now with 10:57 left in the third. I'd be a little surprised if Walker didn't. I mean, I don't know what the hit would be. Probably roughing or something or interference. But doesn't look like anything other than the 5 minutes were called. Because it doesn't look like anything's on the score bug that says the Grizzlies get a power play. And they just kept playing on. So I don't think either team does get a power play. Cameron Wright and Colton Keller talk things over at the center ice red line, as they must have gotten Michalchuk off the ice, as they haven't shown him on the Flow Sports feed for a minute or two. As Idaho still leads 2-0, and the Grizzlies only dressing 10 forwards tonight, and they're still without Zach Sekos, Johnny Walker, and Bryson Martin, as all 3 of those guys are battling injuries. And Utah is also without Joey Koatarsi and Jordan Stone, and Lucas Preek's the third goaltender. So you just hope that Michalchuk's okay. Obviously that was a big hit by Walker, and so just hopefully Vladdy's okay.
Yeah, it was a big hit by Walker. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to see a penalty come out of this. I think that's dependent on where the point of contact was. If it was a hit to the head, then I think we would see a penalty. But
it was more of a body shot.
It seems like it was more of a body shot, and the hit wasn't necessarily late either. I think it was just one of those things where Michalchuk has the puck. He's got his head down. He makes the play and gets the puck up the ice. And then next thing he knows, Walker is just right in his face. And so I think this is more of it's not a late hit. It's just
really bad timing on Michalchuk's part.
I think it just really caught him off guard. And I think there was so much force in the way that Walker hit him. That's where you get that from. I don't know if we're going to see a penalty. I think that's what they're looking over right now. I think that's why we're seeing such a big stoppage here.
I think Michalchuk's still out there.
Maybe he is. I don't know. We haven't seen him on the Flow Sports beat, but I think that they are going to take a look at this and see if they can get the penalty right, if there is one.
And it looks like Michalchuk, from what you gather, is still out in the ice. And for the Grizzlies, you got Cam Strong in the penalty box. I mean, that's probably your third line there with Strong, Michalchuk, and Martell tonight. And so, I mean, it's one of those things, just probably a perfect storm that led to it. And Walker, like Colton Keller, are very physical players. Walker did not play last night. But he's really a strong two-way forward. Somebody as Michalchuk is still on the ice right now being attended to, as he is in some serious pain. And we'll come back in 1 minute as Idaho leads 2-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 2-0. We're about halfway through the third period as Zach Walker and Cam Strong fought. Walker just lit up Vladislav Michalchuk out at center ice. Michalchuk is still down as they're still looking over him, and unfortunately, it's probably a serious injury. We did see a move. We did see, legs and everything move from Michalchuk, but it was, I think, just a perfect storm, really, where Michalchuk had the puck, and he quickly got rid of it. It was like he got the puck at neutral ice, near center ice. He was still in Grizzlies territory, bounced it off the boards, and then, started skating ahead, and, Walker just lit him up. And, it's one of those things that, Walker probably delivers a check there. And if Michalchuk still has the puck, maybe he's able to brace something, maybe it sticks out in front of him, but it kind of just looked like a perfect storm with the hit. And I don't know that, Walker's a physical player. He's going to do what he does. It doesn't look like he got a penalty because you're trying to figure out what the penalty would be, either charging or something. Unfortunately, it was just kind of a perfect storm of a play that unfortunately has left Michalchuk injured right now.
Yeah, Tyson, I think the issue here is that I don't think Michalchuk ever saw Walker. Yeah. I think he had his head down. He made a play on the puck, and Walker comes in and he just blasts him. He just hits him full on with a lot of force. And so I initially speculated that it was upper body. Stu Wild on YouTube is saying that it was a knee-to-knee hit. But whatever it was, it's left Michalchuk out in some serious pain. But again, we talked about a potential penalty. I'm not entirely sure that we're going to see a penalty on this play just because of the nature of the hit. It wasn't late and it wasn't a high hit. You can argue that charging might be the call as Walker was coming in with a lot of speed, but I don't know if we see a penalty here.
And it looks like Michalchuk is now off the ice, and they're working on the ice at center as there's 10:57 left in the third period. Idaho leads 2-0. As because of the delay, it looks like the Grizzlies are trying to stretch out a little bit. Cameron Wright on the ice. He leads the Grizzlies with 25 points this season, and he's the Grizzlies' leading scorer in the month of January. It's Utah's fifth game in January. They have a 2-1-1 record so far in the month, and Cameron Wright has 6 points in January with 4 goals and 2 assists. Victor Bartley, James Shearer also stretching out. Walker's in the box as he's serving a fighting major as Walker and Cam Strong each drop the gloves. But I don't think either team's going to get a power play out of it. It looks like they're going to skate 5-on-5. Both teams are 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Idaho has outshot Utah 32-18 as both teams have 4 shots here so far in the third period. And obviously being a 5-hour drive away from Boise, it'd be impossible for us to give you any update on Michalchuk unless obviously somebody texts us or something. Kanaswich is talking with the referee. I don't know if the referee, it's probably a tough spot for the referee. It is a big time hit, but what do you call there? It's just kind of, unfortunately, Michalchuk just kind of being just caught up right there with the puck in the wrong place at the wrong time. So no penalty is going to be called on the play other than the fighting majors. If you joined us late, Idaho took a 1-0 lead, 5-11 into the first period. Svanenberg's his 8th of the year. Ducharme and Domowski with the assists. And then Willie Niram, unassisted, 1-11 into the second period, made it a 2-0 game, and that's where we stand now. Leading Utah in shots is Victor Bartley and Andrew Nilsson, who each have 3. Draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone, which is interesting considering that the puck was in the Idaho zone when play stopped. As the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone, far circle. Taking it, Skeeton Jamison. It's won by Utah. As the Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the third period, Dylan Fitz to the right side, crosses center ice. He'll dump it in as it rolls back towards the near side. Grizzlies will tap it towards the corner. Bounced off a Steelhead. It stays in the left point. Now Utah whips it around. Fitz in the right wing, takes a shot. Glove saved by Poirier. The shot would have gone wide anyway as Poirier made the glove save outside of the net area, but he's able to hold on with 10:39 left in the third period as Idaho leads 2-0. As Fitz took the shot, Keaton Jamison was out net front as they show a replay on Flow Sports. Jamison will take the draw. This time it's won by Idaho as Misiak keeps the puck. A.J. White moves it ahead. Utah center ice tries to dump it back in. Idaho picks it off. They feed it out to center ice to the Steelheads. Colton Keller dumps it in. Metcalf behind his net will chip it towards the near boards. Keller skates towards the left point. He'll feed it across to the right corner as it hits off the boards on 2 hops of the ice. Utah gets it back near corner. McDonald gets it ahead. Hits off of Svanenberg's. Now Utah still in their own zone. Throws it back towards the end wall. Grizzlies get it across as Utah chips it towards center ice. Vandenbergs picks it off and throws it back to the far corner. Utah gets the puck. They'll backhand it out to neutral ice. Idaho gets it back as Owen Hedrick feeds it across to Cudlup. Now to center ice. McDonald takes it for Utah. He has the puck bounce off of the stick of Ducharme onto Metcalf, who feeds it over to the near corner. Now Ducharme drops it off for Domowski. Shot saved by Metcalf, and it goes off the glass as Utah will throw it out towards the far side. Idaho keeps it in the offensive zone. Right side, they'll kick it to the left corner for Cudlup. He'll feed it back across the right side. Utah trying to poke it, but Ducharme gets it in the corner. He'll skate around Utah's net. He gets blasted behind Metcalf. Now centering pass, shot to score. As the Steelheads have made it a 3-0 game, and I think that's Willie Niram's second of the night as he got a pass from Justin Ducharme. And so Niram gets his second of the game and 7th of the season. And with 9:21 left in the third, Willie Niram high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench as they lead 3-0. Ducharme is behind the net, just found found Niram out in front, and Niram was able to put it away. So Willie Niram having a night. He's got to be one of the 3 stars of the game for sure. Probably depends on whether Remy Poirier is able to complete the shutout or not. 3-0 Idaho as the Grizzlies win the draw. Nilsson will throw it to the near side, taken away. As Niram skates in, he'll take a shot, saved by Metcalf. Now Miller with a shot, and it's blocked before it gets to Metcalf. Remember, Niram is on hat trick watch as he's got 2 goals tonight. Grizzlies skate to the offensive line and dump it around the boards. It goes to the far corner, taken back by Idaho. Ducharme and Cudla got the assists on that goal, 10:39 in. As Idaho skates towards the right side, right wing shot saved by Metcalf. Idaho skates towards the left corner. Niram gets hit. Utah cuts it off past their goal line. Now to the near side. Grizzlies feed it across. Poirier lets it go as it crosses the goal line, and icing is on the Grizzlies. 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third as the Steelheads lead 3-0, and they're looking for their 5th shutout against the Grizzlies this season. As the draw comes back towards Garrett Metcalf. And for Idaho, you just think about the scoring chances that they've had. I mean, unfortunately, they've had probably a few more chances outside of the first period than the Grizzlies have had. As Idaho has now outshot Utah 36-19. So Idaho putting up a picket fence on the score sheet. 1 goal in each of the 3 periods here tonight. As the Grizz win the face-off, left wing to center ice. Grizz dump it in. Utah chases to the corner after it. Backhand shot saved by Poirier. Rebound goes to the far side. Idaho gets it as they'll tap it off the boards. It's taken by Utah at center ice. As the Grizz, Tyler Penner tried to chip it in. As Cameron Wright on the ice as well as Wright will skate towards the corner. Idaho spins it back around. It stays on the far side as the Steelheads clear it out to center. Regathered by Utah. Dylan Fitz dumps it in. As it goes back to Idaho, as the Steelheads skate around the net. 8 minutes and counting left in the third. Idaho leads 3-0. Nick Canati behind his net. He got in a fight with Dakota Raby in the second period. Canati over to the near side. Pass Matt Register as Fitz gets spun around. Raby on the ice as it goes back to Utah. Left point. Grizzlies with a righty shot saved by Poirier. I think it was Pouncey that took it. Raby delivers a hit in the corner, and it was Canati. Now the Steelheads get it back as Zane Franklin skates across center ice and dumps it into the left corner. Chasing after it is Tyler Penner. He'll drift it back to Dylan Fitz in the near side over to Connor McDonald. Connor skates down the middle, throw a near side pass to Fitz who couldn't reach it. Register dumps it back in. Utah behind the net as Andrew Nilsson, 7:13 left in the third. Nilsson will outlet it out to center ice. Grizzlies get it as Taryn Pfizer will skate across as the puck rolls towards Poirier. And Poirier throws it to the near side. Idaho will chip it into the bench area. No delay of game as it would have hit off the glass had there been glass there. 7:01 left in the third. Idaho leads 3-0. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Idaho leads 3-0 as they've scored a goal in each of the 3 periods tonight. Willie Nera has 2 goals. Jonas Vandenberg scored in the first period. Idaho has outshot Utah by a margin of 36-21. Both teams are 0 for 2 on the power play. Garrett Metcalf has stopped 33 of 36. Idaho's Remy Poirier has a 21-save shutout coming on right now. And he's got that continuing. Cam Strong and Zach Walker in the penalty box each, serving their fighting majors. As Idaho wins the draw, they spin it over to the far side. Grizzlies chasing after it. And it looks like Utah back in the end boards as Idaho takes it away as they skate towards the far corner. Ducharme with great speed skates around Utah's net. He's now on the near side. He'll throw it up top for Cudlup, and he'll move it ahead. As the Steelheads in the offensive zone, Utah now in control of the puck. As Grizzlies throw a blue line to blue line pass, Martell tries to feed it towards the far side. And delayed offside. Idaho will throw a right wing pass out to center ice. Steelheads skate into the zone. Right circle, shot saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies towards the far side. Get it across. Pass connects. Utah skates towards the right side. Throw with a shot. Saved by Poirier. The rebound goes to Idaho. Steelheads will cross center ice. They'll dump it in as Jade Miller collided with Cameron Wright. Keaton Jamison over there as well. There's less than 6 minutes left in regulation as Cameron Wright crosses center ice. He'll feed it across. Pass picked up by Idaho. As the Steelheads to the right side skate towards the circle. Take a righty shot and it goes wide. Puck glides along the near boards. And now the whistle blows. 5:44 is left in regulation. Idaho leads 3-0. We'll tell you how this one ends when we come back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. and I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back. We're at Maverick Center, Guy Chiarenza and I, as gymnastics was being held here at Maverick Center today. It looks like the Minnesota Golden Gophers are headed to the bus, as Idaho has 2 goals from Willie Nerum. How about this? The Jacksonville Jaguars overcome, a 30-3 deficit? They defeat the Chargers 31-30. Draws in the left circle. Willie Nerum's on hat trick watch as he's got the 2 goals. Grizzlies win the draw in their own zone. They'll tap it off the near glass. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone, but delayed offside, so Raby lets Idaho take it. 5.5 minutes left in the third period. It's a Steelheads thrown out to center ice now. Left wing pass. It connects as Willie Nerum skates towards the left corner, gets around McDonald. Now Nerum spins it back to the corner that he vacated. Jack Becker, who's got 6 goals against the Grizzlies this season, gets pushed towards the point. Utah gets it, and they'll feed it across as it goes into the Steelhead zone. Owen Hedrick gathers it. They'll throw it to the near side. Now Idaho will dish it out to the Utah line as Misiak dumps it in. Raby takes it. They'll get it across to Pfizer. Pfizer to the left side, gains the line, avoids a check of Hedrick. Pfizer fires it towards the net, and it bounces off the end boards as Idaho spins it out to center ice. 2-on-3. Steelheads dump it in as it goes towards the far side. Keller gets it taken away by Utah as the Grizzlies skate down the middle. Utah veers off to the right side, and Grizzlies tried to dump it in. It bounced off a register and goes out of play. 4:43 left in the third. Idaho still leads 3-0. Steelheads in their specialty jerseys, a cream jersey with a lot of pink mixed in. Pink lettering in the back, pink numbers in the front, pink numbers in the back, kind of pink on the sock a little bit to go along with white. It's a sharp-looking jersey. Grizzlies wearing their alternate jerseys for the first time this weekend, Colorado Avalanche style. The Avalanche, the NHL affiliate of the Grizzlies. It's a puck deep in the Steelhead zone. Idaho skates from right to left to get it to Kawaguchi across the center ice. He'll gain the offensive line as he'll throw it to the corner as it spins around behind Metcalf's net. Utah throws it back to the far side. Grizzlies will lift it out to center. Puck bounces in the Steelheads territory. Grizzlies will back it out into their own zone as there's 4:15 and counting left in the third. Shearer gets it across to Aaron Tho. Tho, wearing number 28, will get it across. Bartley back in his own zone. Back to Tho. Tho will throw an outlet pass out to neutral ice. It's picked off by Register. Dumps it back in. Utah chases after it as Jamison gets hit by Zane Franklin. Centering pass, shot and a score. And that's Justin Ducharme, and that will make it a 4-0 hockey game as this baby's in the refrigerator with less than 4 minutes left in regulation. Justin Ducharme gets his second goal in a Steelheads uniform as this is his 5th game. Ducharme now has 1 goal and 1 assist as the Steelheads lead 4-0 as Ducharme high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench. It's like Franklin and Domowski should get the assist. It was Domowski that was towards the end boards and found a cutting. Justin Ducharme out in front of the net. Actually, 1 goal and 2 assists for Ducharme, who picked up an assist in Idaho's first and third goals tonight. So Justin Ducharme with 1 goal and 2 assists on the evening. Willie Nerum with 2 goals, and Remy Poirier currently nursing a shutout of more than 21 shots. Puck at center ice. Idaho dumps it back in as Corey Thomas gets taken away by Franklin. Goes back to Thomas, who nudges it ahead. Grizzlies gain the line 2-on-3. Utah towards the left circle, gets it poked away. Franklin gets it. 3.5 minutes left in regulation as Fitz throws down Franklin at center ice. It looks like that's going to be a penalty. High sticking is going to be the call as Dylan Fitz goes to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. So Idaho's going to be on the power play for 2 minutes as Fitz takes a seat. And Idaho leads 4-0. They're on the power play. And looks like the Steelheads are going to win the middle game of this 3-game series as Franklin was skating towards center ice and Fitz just kind of threw him down. As Fitz does have a size advantage on Zane Franklin. Franklin did get an assist on the Ducharme goal. The time of that was 16:08 into the third period. So it looks like it's going to be a Steelheads victory in the middle game of the series. Remember, Monday afternoon at Maverick Center, SpongeBob SquarePants themed jerseys And it's also going to be sensory-friendly day. This is Steelheads on the right side, just outside the circle. They feed it to the far goal line. Now Idaho gets it back to the right side. Now across to Hedrick. He gets it down the middle for Ducharme. Shot kick saved by Metcalf. As Idaho to the right side, gets it back up top for Register, who fakes a shot, gets over to Hedrick. One-timer saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to the near side and back up top for Hedrick. He'll get it across. Now back to Hedrick. Over to Register. He's in the high slot. Back to Hedrick. One-timer and a blocker saved by Metcalf. Puck still in play as Hedrick trips up a Grizzly as Utah is skating towards neutral ice. No penalty, though. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third. Idaho leads 4-0. 1:10 left in the Steelheads power play. And Dylan Fitz 2 minutes for high sticking. As Register will throw it back deep into the Steelhead zone for Kawaguchi as he's being chased down by a Grizzly. Halfway through the power play, over to the near side. Idaho crosses center as Keller gets around a Grizzly. Now he skates towards the left circle. Keller throws it back up top to the left point. Idaho couldn't keep the line as Cudler will throw it back to A.J. White deep in the Steelhead zone as White being chased by Strong as it goes to center ice. Idaho right wing carries it over the line. Kawaguchi over to Keller, skates towards the right circle. He loses the puck as Corey Thomas gets it, and he'll clear it out to center. And A.J. White will gather it at the Idaho blue line. As White will throw it ahead. 30 seconds left in the power play for Idaho. Make that 20 seconds as Cudley goes to center ice. 1:43 left in the third. Idaho to the right wing. Will skate towards the circle. Steelheads feed it back up top as Idaho skates to the far corner. They get it to Kawaguchi. It tosses to the high slot. Now Idaho gets to the near corner. Power plays over as Idaho centers it to Kawaguchi. Utah takes it away. Grizz throw it out to center ice for Fitz just out of the penalty box. He gains center ice and rolls it around the boards. Poirier cuts it off behind the net. 1:15 left in the third. It's Nick Canati. Throws to the far side. Now ahead to Jade Miller. Miller gains center ice. Now he crosses the blue line. Throws to Franklin on the right side. Franklin tries to find Becker cutting in front of the net. It goes wide. Now left wing shot saved by Metcalf as the Grizzlies will throw a backhand pass out to center ice, but they couldn't reach it. Was Dakota Raby. And now it goes back to Canati. 50 seconds left in regulation. It's 4-0 Idaho. The only question is whether Remy Poirier is going to complete the shutout. It's Idaho out to the far side. Now they cross center. They'll lift it high into the air. It stays in place. It bounces off the corner on one hop. As Becker over in the corner gets to the left circle for Franklin, who couldn't handle it. Grizzlies throw it to center ice. Martell dumps it in as Martell chases after behind the net. And another Steelhead pokes it back to the far side. As Idaho with the puck, 20 seconds left. As Register will throw it out to center ice. He'll tap it off the far glass. And it looks like the puck goes out of play. 17 seconds left in regulation, as looks like a fan gets a souvenir. Hopefully nobody got hit with that thing. And, hopefully the fans are okay. It looks like the puck ended up in the third row, and it looks like everybody's trying to locate where the puck ended up. So everybody looking for a game souvenir as Idaho leads 4-0. Looks like some of the fans have headed for the exits as they got a sellout crowd. Remember, the place in Idaho only holds about 5,200, somewhere between 5,200 and 5,300. I think it's kind of interesting. They announced a sellout for just about every home game, and yet the number on the crowd is different each time. I remember at the old Delta Center, the sellout crowd used to be 19,911. Less than 10 seconds left in regulation. Grizzlies won their Turner Cup in 1996 at the Delta Center. As out to center ice, Justin Ducharme runs out the time, and that will do it. Idaho wins 4-0 as Remy Poirier gets his second shutout of the season, both of them against the Grizzlies. And Willie Nerum had 2 goals. Jonas Vandenbergs scored a first-period goal, and Justin Ducharme had 1 goal and 2 assists. Final score from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 0 as Remy Poirier picked up a 22-save shutout. Garrett Metcalf for Utah stopped 34 of 38 as his record goes to 7-2 on the season. Post-game show coming up in 1 minute. Once again, the final score from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can. and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Here's a 22-save shutout for Remy Poirier. 2 goals for Willie Niram and 1 goal and 2 assists for Justin Ducharme as the Steelheads defeat the Grizzlies 4-0. As both teams split the 2 games over Idaho Central Arena as Utah won 5-3 last night, and Garrett Metcalf stopped 29 of 32. Tonight, he stopped 34 of 38. As the three stars of the game, looks like Justin Ducharme is the 3rd star. We mentioned the night he scored Idaho's 4th goal of the game. He had 2 assists earlier on. And so Justin Ducharme's the number 3 star. I imagine the number 2 star is Willie Niram, and it is. He had 2 goals. The goal he scored in the second period was on a really tough angle, and Metcalf really closed the front door, but Niram just kind of fired it over his shoulder, and he fired the shot from about the goal line. It was a pretty impressive shot. Remy Poirier is the number 1 star as Idaho outshot Utah 38-22 as they come away with a 4-0 victory. For the Grizzlies, in terms of the shot count, looks like Tyler Penner, Victor Bartley, and Andrew Nilsson each led the way with 3 shots. 2 shots for Taryn Pfizer, James Shearer, and Dylan Fitz, and then a few other Grizzlies with 1 shot. Halfway through the 3rd period, Vladislav Mikalchuk got blasted by Zach Walker. Strong and Walker fought each other 9:03 into the 3rd period, and that was the second fight of the game as Dakota Raby and Nick Canati fought 15-19 into the 2nd period. So hopefully Mikalchuk's okay, although it looked like he was hurt pretty bad, unfortunately. So we're hoping for the best for Mikalchuk. And, he was playing pretty well this weekend. He had an assist on Friday, and he was just kind of moving around pretty well. And unfortunately just took the hit from Walker. And it's just one of those hits where, everything happened so fast. I don't know, what really, what Walker could have done different, what Mikalchuk could have done different. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. In a sport like hockey, without out of bounds, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And sometimes collisions like that are going to happen. And unfortunately, Mikalchuk took the worst of it. So hopefully, he'll be okay. But it did look like whatever it was, it turned out to be a serious injury. And so hopefully he'll be okay. If you think about for the Grizzlies tonight, it was like Grizzlies, I thought, played a good first period, played a north-south brand of hockey, but then, the last 2 periods were only able to generate 12 shots as Idaho had 15 shots in the first, 13 in the second, and 10 in the third. For the Grizzlies, 10 shots in the first, 4 in the second, and 8 in the third. We talked about special teams, now great they'd been for the Grizzlies, as of late. The Grizzlies' penalty kill really continued to play well. They were 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. But unfortunately for the Grizzlies, only 2 power plays tonight, and they were 0 for 2 on the man advantage. As Utah won last night, Idaho tonight, and the rubber match of the 3-game series will be on Monday as the scene shifts to Maverick Center. 3:10 face-off. We showed you the jersey, the SpongeBob SquarePants themed jersey. For those that didn't see during the second intermission on YouTube, Guy Chiarenza is holding it up right now. That's the jersey the Grizzlies are going to be wearing on Monday. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants themed jersey. There's Patrick Star and SpongeBob there in the front, and then Squidward. I kind of had the personality of Squidward. He's on the back. And, I'm not proud to have the personality of Squidward, but I do. There's Trent Miner's jersey. Miner was the backup tonight to Metcalf. That's what it looks like if you're watching on YouTube. As the Steelheads come away with a victory. It's also going to be sensory-friendly day where the sound will be turned down. And I think it should be a lot of fun as, Utah played well Friday, and really the first 4 games in January, the Grizzlies looked good offensively. But tonight, it was just And it was just kind of for the Steelheads. It wasn't like they dominated any one stretch of the game. They just kind of snuck one in the first period, near them with a really tough angled shot in the second. And then they just kept chipping away. And the Grizzlies, unfortunately, just couldn't catch a break there in the third to get anything past Poirier. And Idaho did a good job of limiting Utah's scoring chances. But, Guy, the penalty kill did look good for the Grizzlies again. And I think Metcalf, despite the loss, really hung in there all night long.
Yeah, I think that Metcalf gave the Grizzlies a chance to win. And that's all you can ask for out of your goalie, really, is Metcalf was there to make key saves when key saves needed to be made. The problem is that the Steelheads, they seem to be a relenting force. They seem to take a lot of shots and get a lot of quality opportunities. They're very good at spreading the ice and using every single ice or inch of the ice on the surface there to their advantage. They're very good at making north to south plays, and they're also good at making east to west plays. They spread the ice and they beat you with speed. And so as the game wore on, the Steelheads started to pound, and really the second period was where they were at their strongest, Idaho was. And when they're doing that, they have possession, and the Grizzlies can't seem to get anything going offensively. The Grizzlies didn't have the puck a lot in the second period and much of the third period, and thus in turn they didn't have many offensive chances. So I think if the Grizzlies want to come into Maverick Center and come out with the win, they got to find a way to score 5-on-5, as the special teams have been really good over the last month or last couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. But you can't rely on that every game. You got to find a way to score 5-on-5.
And the Steelheads, all 4 of their goals tonight came in 5-on-5 situations. And really think about, the Grizzlies. I mean, I think Bryson Martin's pretty close to returning from an injury, and, maybe he'll replace McCallchuk in the lineup. Kolatarsi and Stoner healthy scratches. I mean, the Grizzlies are still without Sekos and Johnny Walker due to injury, but, for Utah, you think about the goaltending situation. It'll be interesting to see if we see Metcalf on Monday, or if they go with either Minor or Lucas Preek. And you have that luxury of having Sunday off, where if Kanasowicz feels good about going to back to Metcalf, he can do that. In Idaho, obviously they got 2 good ones in Adam Schill and Remy Poirier. But I think when you think about the Grizzlies, I don't think you want to let a night like this kind of break some of the momentum that they had offensively in the first 4 games of January. I think that Idaho wanted to come out, and they wanted to make sure that they didn't let Cameron Wright be play a factor in this game. And you think about Wright and all the shots he has taken. He came into play tonight with 116 shots, which is the most among all league rookies. And he also leads the Grizzlies by a wide margin. And Cameron Wright was left off these. He didn't take a single shot tonight. And I think that that's because Idaho made a game plan, and they made it clear that they didn't want Cameron Wright to beat them. And so he didn't take a shot. Keaton Jamison didn't take a shot tonight. And the Grizzlies also, McCallchuk, Pouncey, and Simeone also didn't take a shot. And so I think Idaho came in with a distinct game plan of making sure that if the Grizzlies score, it's not going to be Cameron Wright. Penner's hurt them a couple times in the past, and so is Raby. So I think they wanted to play Raby physical. They wanted to make sure they got a body on Dylan Fitz and not let him advance into the offensive zone with some speed. And really, when you've seen a team 14 times, you could put together really detailed game plans for attacking opponents. And I think for the most part, the Grizzlies, knowing Idaho so well, they were able to put together a good game plan as well. But unfortunately, tonight it was just Idaho was able to make a few more plays than the Grizzlies on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, Tyson, and you mentioned that the Grizzlies have played now 44% of their games against the Steelheads. Yeah. The Steelheads and the Grizzlies, they know each other, and you know that Everett Sheen was probably not very happy with the loss last night, and so he probably built together a pretty good game plan, and the Steelheads came out and they executed it perfectly. You're right. Cameron Wright was a non-factor. Dakota Raby, again, there was times where he was moving with speed, and he looked really good, but he was held off the score sheet. And so now he's a guy that's only got 1 assist in his last 9 games. You got to think that maybe they're going to try and get more involved on Monday at the Maverick Center. But you talk about momentum after this game, and maybe this could be a momentum shift for the Grizzlies. This loss stings for a couple of reasons. 1, you lost to a division rival, the Steelheads. 2, you got shut out. And 3, there's the somber feeling of what's happening with Vladislav Mikhalchuk. We don't know anything about his status, but we do know he was in some serious pain on the ice, and he's had a pretty poor weekend as far as things go. I mean, he got slashed in the back of the leg maliciously by Casey Johnson last night. Now here he is taking the full force of Zane Walker on a hit there. It's just really tough, and I hope he's going to be okay.
I hope so. Hopefully Michalchuk's going to be okay. The Grizzlies going to drive home. They're probably packing up the bus as we speak, getting back to Maverick Center. And I think for the Grizzlies, you just got to come out Monday and really establish yourself early on. Kind of play the way you did on Friday and see if they can find a way to kind of get the Rooster Jordan Martell going. I mean, there might be a couple adjustments to the lineup and just see if they can find a way to win 2 out of 3 against Idaho, because if you think about it, after Monday's game, the Grizzlies won't face Idaho for quite a while. They'll start to play teams like Tulsa and Rapid City and Allen. They'll face some of the other teams within the division. And in the 19 games the Grizzlies have played against teams not named the Idaho Steelheads, they've got a record of 10-8-1. So they're above 500 when facing, teams not named the Idaho Steelheads. So I really think that you combine that with all the home games the Grizzlies have in the second half of the season. I do think the Grizzlies are in a good position second half as long as they can keep their confidence up.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. The Steelheads and the Grizzlies have faced off a lot this season. And when you see an opponent like that, it's really tough to kind of find a way late in the season where you've seen them, like this is like the 14th time, to really build a game plan that's different from what you've done before against this team, because they know what you're going to do. And so I think that it's a blessing that the Grizzlies aren't going to see the Steelheads for a while after this, and they're going to get to see some teams that they haven't seen before, but we know that the Grizzlies can play pretty good. We haven't seen Tulsa yet, but we know the Grizzlies can beat Allen. They did well against Allen earlier in the season. The Grizzlies played well against Rapid City the last week. So I think the schedule is unfortunate of the Grizzlies going forward. You mentioned all the home games. That's great. We got a great crowd here at the Maverick Center. Our fans are always great. But, I mean, this loss, you shouldn't linger on it. I don't think there's any reason to linger on it. You got the split in Idaho, which I think is good, all things considered. Because
that's what you always get in Idaho, it seems like.
Well, it seems like most teams don't even get that up in Idaho these days. Yeah. So for the Grizzlies to come back with a split, I think that's huge. And now you got a chance to win the series here at Maverick Center with the specialty jerseys and all that, a really good atmosphere. I think there's good fortune coming the Grizzlies' way in the future.
Just wasn't the Grizzlies' night tonight as they lose 4-0 to the Idaho Steelheads. 3 stars of the game, Justin Ducharme with 1 goal and 2 assists and a +3 rating. Number 2 star is Willie Niram, who had 2 goals and was a +2. And then the number 1 star is Remy Poirier, who got a 22-save shutout. Well, just off to Monday, and I don't think for the Grizzlies you linger on it too much. You just come back and see if you can win 2 out of 3 against Idaho. And then move on to Tulsa, where they haven't seen Rob Murray's Tulsa Oilers yet this season. Tulsa won 4-3 against Rapid City, and they overcame a 3-0 deficit as they scored 4 unanswered. Eddie Matsushima got the overtime game winner. And you think about Monday, it's also the All-Star game. Andrew Nelson will not be attending the All-Star games. After all, the Grizzlies play on Monday. I don't quite understand why the league All-Star game's in the same day as league games. So Nelson's not going to the All-Star game. For Idaho, they don't have their All-Star representative was Jake Kupski. He's currently in the AHL. He's a goaltender. And Everett Sheen was going to coach the Western Conference All-Stars, but of course the Steelheads play at Maverick Center. So instead of Sheen coaching the Western Conference, it's Jason Payne, the Cincinnati head coach. But hey, it is what it is. It's going to be a lot of fun at Monday at Maverick Center. 3:10 face-off. Pre-game coverage will begin at 2:50. And hopefully I'll have a voice by the time we face off on Monday, as I'll try to rest tomorrow a little bit as Idaho wins 4-0. And we'll see what happens on Monday, as the Grizzlies are going to be wearing the SpongeBob SquarePants themed jerseys. Guy's going to be holding up right there, as that's Trent Miner's jersey he'll be wearing on Monday.
These are fantastic. I really like these. I mean, I like the pineapple design on the sleeve there.
Yeah, that's
good
really
look.
Nice.
And you got SpongeBob and Patrick on the front. Main characters there, and then look at this little surprise on the back.
Yeah, there's Squidward getting chased.
So I think it's a really great jersey, and I think if you want to have a good time on Monday, you got the day off from work, come on down to the Maverick Center and watch some good quality hockey between the Steelheads and the Grizzlies.
Should be a lot of fun. Best rivalry in the league for my money. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads, and that's going to be on Monday. It's also sensory-friendly day, and we should have a lot of fun, as the Grizzlies do have 4 home games in the month of January. As remember, the Rapid City Rush will be in town for a 3-game set, January 25th, 27th, and 28th. Face off all 3 nights in that series will be at 7:10. Once again, for Guy Chiarenza, I'm Tyson Whiting. In 2 hours and 43 minutes, and in front of 5,242 over Idaho Central Arena, The Steelheads get a 4-0 victory. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.